Van Vader, you rest assured that somewhere, someday, our two worlds will collide. You'll find out that Cactus Jack Land is not a place you want to visit. Because every day I ask the same question. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the sickest soldier of them all? And every day I get the same answer. Cactus Jack. Bang, bang!
This is Big Beef, and you're tuned in to Sit Down Marks with AJ, Dirty Bird, and you know him, Primo. Check it out.
Hey, welcome everybody to the episode number 34 of the Sit Down Marks Wrestling Podcast. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I am the Dirty Bird, your heel host. Today I got with me the usual, one half of the usual panel here, and we also got a returning a friend of the show coming back. But let me introduce to you, coming from straight out of your mama's kitchen, the only baby face left on the podcast, the actual master of the forearm shark himself.
Yep. I've been practicing.
What's going on, AJ? Welcome, brother.
Oh, hi, Marks. You were going to say from the land of the rattlesnake, weren't you? You were.
I was. Yeah. So, disclosure, Primo is not with us today. We are still a three-man show because I got coming back to the show, our adopted Mark doing a little run-in for us here today. Well, it wasn't a run-in. He was actually scheduled. So, yeah. Adam, welcome back, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Glad to be back.
Welcome back, Adam.
Man. We missed you Friday night at a very cold St. Louis Anarchy.
Oh, my God.
You should have been there and froze your ass off just like the rest of us.
You know, I wish you would have been there so I could be, like, sitting in between you guys and just be all, like, it's just, like, two guys that are way bigger than me on each side. Provide a natural
could have blocked the wind
warmth.
for you is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, so thanks a lot, Adam. Allow me to freeze my shirts off.
Yeah, thanks for being on the pod here. First of all, let me thank Coastland Apparel for sponsoring the show. That's coastlandapparel.com. Use promo code BIRDTV for 15% off your order. And I want to thank everybody listening on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Prime Music, Audible, and SportzWire online radio Fridays at 6:45, right before the Thomas Bryce Show and throughout the week. If you like the pod, please tell a friend and leave us a great 5-star review on whatever platform you listen from. All right,
Coastland has some cool new stuff. I just ordered a bunch of new stuff. So go there. Order things. Cool things. Go do it.
Hats, hoodies. I think they got long sleeve shirts too. So, all right, so let's get this thing underway here. Let's start off with the countdown. As of today, to the Royal Rumble, we got 94 days. Well, we are inside 100 days here.
Hell yeah. It's going to be cold, but I love it.
It is going to be cold. But at least we'll be inside, though.
Yeah, you'll be inside at least, right?
It's still going to be cold outside. I don't like winter.
Well, if Primo was here with us today, he would have loved the pop of the pod, but we're going to love anyway. This guy knows a lot about Royal Rumbles here. Let's check it out.
1, 2, is this on? Yo, Jimmy, hit me with that Triple H. Yeah, you let the music keep playing, Mr. Dunn. Yo, tell me who your time it is now.
That's my favorite Triple H entrance music of all time. I don't know about you guys. What about y'all?
Yes, mine too, actually. I do like the like harpsichord one where he was the French dandy. But I like that one. I don't like the game. I don't about the game and how you game it. Game. And here's some more games. Like it's shut up, Lemmy.
I don't know. Lemmy's beautiful voice brings me comfort.
It's soothing to you.
It's
like a game.
It is, man. You know,
gravelly voice of Lemmy. Yeah.
This one's kind of tied. This one I just played with. You know, it's tied from to China a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? That was kind of their era. They're kind of like sawing together. So I've always tell people the story. I was that annoying brother. I used to wake my other brother up at like 5 a.m. with this song as loud as my big, huge speakers that sat on the floor would play, out loud. So, but yeah, I wanted to say Primo not with us today, so get well, Primo. Although he is able to join the chat here today, so he'll be coming in and out. But we will take over here for you, pal, and we will keep it rolling. AJ, let's talk about wrestling in this day in wrestling history and wrestler birthdays.
This day in wrestling history.
Whose game is it?
Primo's game, baby. Whoa! 198
days.
I don't have a board, so I'm just going to point off into the distance.
I had to do it.
198 days.
Sure.
You're reigning, defending, sit down marks, so on and so forth, and such. That's all I can do. That's all I can do for him.
That was good.
Sorry, Primo. This day in wrestling
good
history.
Tribute.
I tried. See, it again doesn't work. This day in wrestling history, in 1993 in Blackburn, England, Arn Anderson and Sid Vicious, a.k.a. Martin Lund, and Sid Udy got into a little bit of a scuffle in their hotel room. According to various accounts, I'm just going to read this now. The scuffle carried on from an argument at the hotel bar about Sid's place as a member of the Four Horsemen, while Arn was told he never drew money in the wrestling business. I don't think that's true. Scuffle broke out, but cooler heads prevailed, and both men retreated to their hotel rooms. The argument from earlier then picked up soon after. Allegedly, Sid burst into Arn's room with a hotel chair. Sure. And Arn tried to defend himself with a pair of safety scissors.
Ouch.
Like safety scissors as in like the things they give like kindergartners? Like the plastic one? Okay, that's not good defense there, Arn. So he tried to defend himself with safety scissors despite the fight spilled out into the hallway, and Sid eventually gets a hold of the safety scissors, and the two men would stab each other 24 times.
God.
With Arn getting 20 of the 24 stab wounds, losing a pint and a half of blood. Too Cold Scorpio broke up the fight and was credited with saving Arn's life. Vader may have saved Sid's life. One of the 4 stab wounds was in his stomach, and Vader plugged the hole with his finger until help arrived. Why does that not surprise me?
Classic story, man.
Yeah.
Classic story.
So they both went to the hospital. They stayed overnight, and they were deported back to the United States. No charges were filed.
Okay.
So after that, several wrestlers backstage threatened a mutiny if Sid, who was seen as the instigator, was not reprimanded. Then WCW Executive Vice President Eric Bischoff had a little alternative, but I don't know what that means, Primo. He did not edit his notes before this. So basically, he was booked to be the WCW World Heavyweight Champion at Starrcade in December. Instead, he was fired. So that is today in wrestling history. Birthdays on 10/27, which is today for all you marks out there. See, I'm doing a pretty good Primo job, I feel like. So in 1996.
Chef's kiss.
Thank you. Aww. We have Layla Hirsch, 1996. In 1979, all right. Bobby Fish.
Yes! One of the old guys still wrestling my age, man. I love it.
Bobby Fish. I love how Bobby Fish is one of the old guys.
He's getting a lot of spots right now, man, for AEW. They putting him in some he's putting some guys over, but he's getting some prominent matches, man.
Yes, he is. I think he's doing great in AEW. 1973 MVP. Also 1973, same age as MVP, which this is surprising. Taka Michinoku. Same age as MVP. And
is this Taka Michinoku? Is this the driver? Which one was born? Which one was born this day? The actual person or the driver?
The actual person.
Oh, the actual person. Okay.
Taka Michinoku.
Do we have a date when the Michinoku driver was actually born?
I would guess roughly 20 years after Taka Michinoku, since he...
So he needed that long to perfect it, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
I mean, he started doing it when he was like 4.
Gotcha.
So in 1977, it was invented, but then perfected when later on in life.
Well done.
And
well done.
In 1949, the Taskmaster himself, Kevin Sullivan, also Primo, my friend, you missed one. yesterday, October 26th, turning 43 years old, is one Phillip Brooks, a.k.a. CM Punk.
CM Punk.
And that is today in wrestling history and birthdays.
Nice job, man. I mean, getting back to Adam. I mean, the Sid Arn story. We all know this one, man. I mean, that was legendary, kind of, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's if you get a pick to be a fly on the wall of a small handful of famous wrestling incidents, that's got to be high on the list.
I just love that it's safety scissors. Safety scissors, like the plastic orange and white safety. How are you going to stab someone with safety scissors?
And we talking about two tough SOBs here too. I mean, these guys are legit badasses, you know.
And he's the one that got lit up, right? He brought the scissors to the fight.
And Sid was like, yoink, poke, 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 poke,
and then just got prison shivved. Like,
I like to imagine that Sid Vicious said poke when he was doing it. Like, poke.
And then to talk about Kevin Sullivan, you know, we in Halloween Havoc that we covered last week was 96. You know, think about him again. He's in the ring with Woman and Benoit, so it gives you those whole, you know, kind of eerie feelings all over. So, yeah. So 1949. Wow, I didn't think he was that old. All right, AJ, talk to us, man. What's happening in the headlines in wrestling?
News and notes and
wrestling
stuff. So I'm assuming we're going to get into this later, but I'm just going to mention it right now. There is massive backstage heat on one Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
There are rumors swirling that she wants out of her contract. None of them have been confirmed, obviously. So it stemmed from her disrespecting Becky Lynch and going off script when the two were supposed to have their title exchange, and Charlotte threw the title on the floor. And then I guess when they got backstage, you know, Becky was super pissed off, and then Sonya Deville actually wanted to fight Charlotte Flair. So there's a ton of backstage heat on Charlotte Flair right now.
Yeah, Charlotte wanted to put over Bianca, and she's still pissed about Becky calling her plastic a long time ago, I think, was something else I've seen. You know, I don't know.
But I mean, the two are friends. That's what I don't understand about it so much.
Yeah, it's competition, man.
So up next we have WWE has announced their pay-per-view schedule, and Mania is 2 nights, and it is going to be, according to Dave Meltzer, 2 nights from here on out. That's going to be like the new standard for Mania, Saturday, Sunday.
I mean, is that what we always wanted, Adam? You know what I mean? I mean, kind of really, right?
I mean, I think it's good to not have one 8-hour show because that was a bad setup, and I know that. 2 4-hour shows is a lot of wrestling too, but
it is
back to back
for the live crowd.
I feel like it's much better than one 8-hour show because by hour, I'm assuming I've never been there. I've just watched them, but it seems like by hour 6, the crowd is just dead, and then no one cares about like the last 2 matches or whatever.
Sure.
I had decided I wasn't going to go to any more WrestleManias because of that. I could definitely rethink that now.
Yeah, sure. Me too.
It was just such a task.
Yeah, but in the same sense too, here's where your dilemma is going to be. Do I get, you know, if I get tickets for Saturday and most of the matches I want to see are on Sunday, or vice versa? So you could take a gamble, you know, whichever, you know, one you'd like to go to, you know.
Yeah.
But you know,
it's like a music festival now for old people because we can't. Well, I'm speaking for myself. I can't do an entire music festival anymore. You know, one day. Choose that day wisely.
Yeah.
Because I'm old.
So Chicago got a pay-per-view. Vegas got Money in the Bank. Did you guys see SummerSlam? Interesting pick for SummerSlam.
No, where is SummerSlam? I missed
the Titan Stadium in Nashville.
Oh,
outdoors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that is in driving distance for, I believe, everyone here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, outdoor show, Nashville. What is it? August.
So it'll be like 104 degrees, but that's my kind of weather, so it'll be great.
Yeah, slated for Saturday, July 30th, SummerSlam at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee.
Hell yeah!
That's really cool.
Yep. So we got that. Boston gets Survivor Series next year. Yeah, like I said, Money in Bank at Vegas. A couple small pay-per-views, like Chicago will get one in June. Providence, Rhode Island, 2-night WrestleMania, and then of course day one, January 1st in Atlanta, and then Royal Rumble January 29th. So, but yeah, I thought that was interesting too, man. I just drove by there, not coming back from Georgia not long ago, and
yes, I like it.
It's
I like
right
that
off
stadium.
the interstate. So
I drove by it Sunday when I went to the sub show.
that's right. Yeah,
During the game,
we'll get into that, man. I checked that out too. Was it cool to be back at the Basement East?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The energy was there.
All the feels.
Oh,
yeah. I had to check that one out too. So, all right, AJ, you got any more headlines?
I do. Couple
All
more,
right.
really quickly.
I have one too, if you don't have.
Wyndham Rotunda, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt, his non-compete clause ends tomorrow. So who knows if he's going to be showing up someplace in the very, very near future. We'll see.
Okay.
Up next, Tony Nese has signed with AEW. Pretty cool. Former Cruiserweight champion at WWE. Also, Corey Graves and Carmella engaged. Yay.
Hey!
Congratulations. Corey
Hey,
Graves and
Carmella's going to be out.
A couple of sad bits before I am done with this.
Okay.
Ring of Honor has released. I just learned about these like 10 minutes before.
Hey, us too. Me and Adam were texting about it right before the show started. This one, we got scared for a second. Go ahead.
Ring of Honor released everyone from their contracts, every single performer. I don't know why. Like there's speculation that they lost so much money during the pandemic that they can't afford to pay their top tier talent. I don't know what their process is going to be going forward, if they're just going to hire people on like appearance by appearance basis. I don't know. I just found out about it.
Yeah, it sounds like it because their statement was that their year will culminate with a final battle in December. So I guess they probably have talent secured for those. And it said we'll be taking the first quarter of 2022 to work internally to reimagine Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has the most dedicated fans in the industry, and we appreciate their loyalty and patience as we reconceptualize Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor 2.0. They're going to hire Von Wagner Jr. and Braun Brackham.
They anticipate to come back to live events in April for the Supercard. So looks like first quarter of the year. So yeah, I don't know, man, but hey, at least they let all these guys go to be free and do what they need to do. But yeah, man, I can't see Ring of Honor. I don't want to see Ring of Honor go down by no means, but at the same sense, I'm like, where is Jay Lethal going, baby? Oh, where's Jay going, man? He's like, I love Jay Lethal.
I also love Jay Lethal.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice talent on there.
I think a lot of people are not thinking the best of it. It seems like a lot of the talent's upset. Like I said, we just had 10 minutes to go through it, but
sure.
I don't know the legality of things, but I don't know if you can just decide not to pay people their contracts and then start up again in a couple months. So
I don't. Sounds very ECWE kind of when you put it in that way.
I get a bad feeling.
ECWE.
I get a bad feeling that this could be it.
Yeah. I hope not either, man. But yes, we'll stay on top of that. I mean, they're they haven't had no live shows, no fans at the the TV tapings. It's still been empty arenas. So, but yeah,
sad. One other sad piece of news that I also apparently it got released a couple of days ago, but I just found out about it. JR has been diagnosed with skin cancer. Jim Ross, skin cancer. Feel bad for the guy. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Someone give JR a break.
Yeah, man. That's tough news, but he sounded very positive and glad to see that he's going to be able to treat it. So wish JR all the best of luck. All right, AJ, time for your fun part of the weekend. Time for AJ's movie of the week.
Movie of the week. I don't know why I just did that.
AJ's movie of the week.
He'll do it for
you. I swear to God, WWE Studios only exists to make me miserable. Like after
watching these movies,
no, they're
man.
so
what are you
awesome.
Doing?
So I watched this week. I watched See No Evil 2. Completely skipped the first one because who needs context? So the first one features Kane playing serial killer Jacob Goodnight. That's his name.
Of course, yep.
He's stalking sexy youths in an abandoned hotel. In See No Evil 2, he's stalking sexy youths in a morgue. And so immediately, God, this drove me nuts. So it's about like these two morgue people. They're not doctors. They're undertakers, basically.
Morticians.
And yes, thank you. Why couldn't I think of that word? But first of all, this morgue is gigantic. It's like 7 stories and it's like cavernous and whatever. So they clean up, like they send all the bodies from the first film straight to the morgue, where they immediately start embalming all of them with. These are murder victims, and they're just not autopsy. They're embalming them. No autopsies, no anything. I don't think they know how morgues are supposed to work in this movie. But, sexy shenanigans and murders ensue, and Kane's big red nipple is featured throughout. I highly recommend this film, if only for Kane's big red nipple.
That's the only one I've ever seen.
7 thumbs up.
See No Evil. Y'all remember when Kane said Undertaker's name? Here it is one more time for you. It's like that thing on his throat. That was the first time we ever heard Kane say a word, you guys. Just so in case you forgot. So, all right, next week you're banned from WWE studio movies. Go watch. Come back. Let's talk. I don't know, The Wrestler with Mickey.
That movie's fantastic.
It is.
Also, if anyone has any suggestions for AJ's movie of the week, please hit me up on Twitter at @_AJ.
Was there a third See No Evil?
Oh God, I hope not, because then I'm gonna have to watch it. If there is, I'm going to pretend like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. All right, so time for the fan shout out of the show. DM us on Twitter at SitDownMarks and let us know when and where you listen to the podcast, and we will give you a shout out. I'm gonna give a shout out here to Dylan from the St. Louis Anarchy show this past Friday. He came up to us and was talking to us about AJ's new finisher called the Forearm Shark. So shout out to Dylan for listening to the podcast. Appreciate it, brother. And probably my biggest pops of the night was when Thomas Shire came out as original Terry Funk. And then Dylan was sitting front row as hardcore Terry Funk. And
it was so awesome.
The two met each other, and it was like worlds colliding, man. It was great.
I felt bad for Dylan because he was like so cold. He was like, I have a sweatshirt, but I can't put it on because otherwise I'm just a guy in a bandana with my fist taped. You got to suffer for the costume.
Who was probably the coldest guy in the place, though?
Oh, that was Doppelgary.
Doppelgary. So, Adam, this guy at the show, man, he goes to a lot of the shows, man. He was dressed up just like Gary J, all the way to the cape, the beard. He got tagged in one point during the match. It was absolutely great, but we kept wanting to take our coats over and give them to him because.
Oh my God, he looked so cool.
Shirtless?
Yes, he was shirtless.
With the cape.
Yeah, with the cape, man. Full gimmick, man.
At one point, we look over and he's just going like this.
Costume of the night, though. A costume of the night. We'll talk about that
dedication
later. I want to welcome.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's great, man. I want to welcome everybody to the show. I am the Dirty Bird once again. Look, we're going to talk Crown Jewel today. We're going to talk Impact Wrestling, Bound for Glory. We're going to talk St. Louis Anarchy that we were just talking about. Also with Adam, we're going to talk the return show of the Southern Underground Pro down in East Nashville, Tennessee. And then we also going to talk Halloween Havoc 93. This is our last Halloween Havoc coverage of the month. This was my favorite Havoc here, just for the pure silliness and
Oh my God.
and just ridiculousness of it all. So that's why we're talking about this one. So this is going to be fun. So we're going to get to that. We had originally talked about doing the Marks mock fantasy draft. Primo's not able to be here, so we're going to run that back next time Adam comes back. So we'll bring that back next time around. So let's get to the show. We'll let you know that all our previous audio episodes are now on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, Amazon Prime Music, Audible, and SportzWire online radio Fridays at 6:45. Primo, AJ, where can you get that merch of the Marks?
Marks merch
Yeah.
is available at tpublic.com/stores forward. I'm good at, remember that when I was good at speaking? I'm just going to start over. tpublic.com/stores/SitDownMarks. That's tpublic.com/STORES/SITDOWNMARKS. I got through it. Look at me go. Primo, you are no longer needed. I am now the champion.
All right, and if you listen to this, I think by middle on day on Thursday, they've been doing a sale. And you can go right now. T-shirts are like $13. The tapestries are like $20, and coffee mugs are cheap. So go grab you some merch and support the Marks here. So let's get to these recaps, boys.
Wait, how much are the baby clothes?
The baby clothes, I'll tell you something now, baby. Baby clothes.
Baby
onesies,
clothes.
I'm not sure, but
It's never not going to be funny to me.
that one totally caught me off guard. I didn't even know where you were going to go with that.
Baby clothes. I just wanted to say baby clothes.
Baby clothes.
I don't think there's any denying it at this point. I'm the best of the best. I've carried this product. I've carried WWE on my back for over a year and a half now. I'm your tribal chief. I'm the head of the table. I'm the greatest Universal Champion of all time. You wanna know why? Because I smashed everyone. The list has gotten so long now, we can't even go back to the beginning, so let's start at Mania. Daniel Bryan, Edge, smashed him. Cesaro, smashed him. Finn Balor, smashed him. Hollywood megastar John Cena, smashed him. And your boy, Brock Lesnar. Well, last night in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel, I smashed Brock Lesnar.
All right, so let's start out here. First wrestling of last week was the Crown Jewel card. So Primo would usually bring this to you, but today it's going to be your boy here, the Dirty Bird. Let me go over the Crown Jewel results, if you will. Let me start here at the bottom, baby, with Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali. Looks like you just put Mansoor. Oh, okay, gotcha. Mansoor. the names of the winners are highlighted, but it just popped up that they were highlighted. All right, I was waiting.
Though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I did, but I was like, look at him real quick, make sure I remember it all. So Mansoor beat Mustafa Ali at home. The opener of the show was Edge and Seth Rollins in the Hell in a Cell match. This was my favorite match of the night, man. I love this, man. You guys got any notes on this one?
What, Mansoor versus Ali? Or Seth Rollins versus
Edge and Rollins?
I was surprised by the outcome. I didn't expect Edge to come out on top. I thought for sure that Rollins was going to get the rub. And, I mean, given what happens next, it would make more sense for Rollins to get the rub. But whatever. I enjoyed the shit out of the match. I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was too. I love Rollins' new dance coming out. I love his new dance, and it's going along with the gimmick. What are you gonna say, Adam?
I'll say that I don't feel like I hear a lot of positive chatter on either of those guys, but I felt like there was a lot of good praise going around during that match about both of those guys, and that made me want to go watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
Plus, I love Seth Rollins. I love him.
Yeah, and a couple notes to it. Like I love the dancing. It's kind of godlike. Because then the music changes and then he just walks. He's like doing his little dance thing. And then the music changes. He just like walks to the ring. But this match felt important. It felt like the climax of a feud. Whether it is or not, I don't know. I felt like it's not over. I was shocked by who went over, like AJ was. But I love Seth spot off the cage. That was pretty sweet.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, all right. So next up, we had Doudrop and Zelina Vega in the Queen's Crown Tournament Finals.
I skipped this match.
Zelina ends up taking that, so she is now the queen of WWE. And then the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Everybody saw this one coming from a mile away. Finn Balor versus Xavier Woods. All hail King Xavier is your new King of the Ring. How do y'all think he's going to be as the King of the Ring? I personally like heels as kings, but what do you guys fill me in? What do you guys think?
I feel like that if there is going to be a face king, it should be King Woods, because he's going to knock it out of the park, because he's brilliant and he'll take anything and knock it out of the park. And this is just a fun gimmick. You add Xavier Woods and fun gimmick, and it's going to be great. So I think it was the right result, even though I love Finn Balor more than anyone. Yep. Good. I was happy. Very happy.
Yeah, it's a reason for him to have a microphone and to kind of stooge on people.
Yeah.
Sure. I think he's great.
Yeah. I always see how they play it. If they're going to have like a court and they start calling people peasants and like Booker, kiss my finger, and he put his pinky up and so it'll be interesting to see where that goes. All right, next matchup we will cover here, probably my most shocking match of the night. I enjoyed this. Goldberg beats Bobby Lashley in a no-holds-barred match. Now, I loved everything about it except the stupid "don't mess with my family" at the end. That was unnecessary, unneeded. This was Goldberg's best match in a long time. I say right now, hang it up. Leave on this match.
Please.
Your kids
Please
have
leave.
seen you wrestle. Nothing else to do.
Just please go.
What do y'all? I mean, did y'all like it or no?
Nope.
You didn't. I did.
Did not like this match.
For a Goldberg match, it wasn't bad. I mean, we had low expectations going in, right?
That's true, and I feel like my expectations were exceeded in the lowness of. That is not a well constructed sentence. Jesus fucking Christ! I have an English degree. No, I didn't like this match. I don't like Goldberg. I love Bobby Lashley. So I was hoping that Lashley would go over. It would make sense for Lashley to go over, but instead they're just like, "Oh, Goldberg," and Goldberg gets the win.
Is what it is.
No, it is not what it is.
Well,
not.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't really like the angle too much of messing with my kids and don't mess with my family. That was ridiculous. But all right, so moving on. Next up, RK Bro, Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, the champs versus the Skipper, AJ Styles and Almas for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship. RK Bro retains. What do you guys think about this? Anything? I love Riddle coming in on the camel. How sweet was that, man?
That made me laugh so much.
He's the only one that could have pulled that off like hilariously.
Yeah, and maybe Bobby the Brain Heenan, but no one else. Riddle and Bobby the Brain, like that's it. And Brain is dead, so he can't do it. Yeah, that made me laugh. I like the right result again. This show is really good up to this point. I mean, I bitch about the Lashley Goldberg match, but it was still an entertaining match.
Well, I you've heard me say I love daytime live wrestling. You know,
You nerd.
You know, whatever way we get it, we get it. I like the show, man. I think it was the best one yet there. But you know, we'll finish up here talking about the rest of the matches. Next up, Becky Lynch, the champ, versus Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. AJ, what'd you think about this one, man?
So I get first of all, I'm glad that Becky won. I think she should have won. I want Bianca Belair to not be in any more title feuds because again, she's starting to remind me a little bit of Drew McIntyre. Reminded me of Drew McIntyre, who I love, but I want him to go away. See, I don't like Bianca Belair, and I want her to get out of the title picture. Just take your hold, the EST of WWE, and go somewhere else. I'm annoyed to tears with her.
I'm gonna disagree. They're all tweeners right now. Let's be honest. Sasha, Becky, Charlotte, they're all tweeners. You know, some may lean a little more on the hillside, but Bianca is the closest to a babyface that we have. So I feel like she's much needed. I like seeing her in the picture. You know, I mean, we've seen all these girls anyway. You know what I mean? We've seen all these girls wrestle every combination of anything they've already got. And Bianca's like the new kind of one inserted into those four girls that can kind of be on their level. So that's why I think she's necessary. You know what I mean? Between, you know, or else we're going to see, you know, Becky, Sasha, and, you know, because Bailey's out for a while, you know, so Becky, Sasha, Charlotte, Bianca is kind of the top four WWE women right now. So, I also heard too, Raquel's getting called up soon.
She did lose.
Raquel Gonzalez, yeah.
Also, I'm sick and tired of you and your good points and stuff.
Screw you and your
logic and your sense, because now
my notes of this match was I loved how they kind of evenly went all back and forth. You know, I never thought one person had the leg up on the match. It was very well laid out, and I agree with AJ. I think it established Becky again as the top dog. She should have been the one to win here. So, all right.
Primo agrees with me.
Let's get to the main event, guys. Let's talk about the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the Bloodline, the one. Brock Lesnar versus the champ, Roman Reigns, for the WWE Universal Championship. You know, we knew Roman was going to retain. What'd you think, man? It was a good match, I thought. It was kind of weird at times because they seemed a little off sync wise, you know.
They did, yeah.
And
maybe they were jet lagged.
Yeah, so but I like the ending to keep the rivalry going. You know, Paul's got a lot to do with this rivalry, so you know, they gotta let that play out too before it plays out in the ring. You know what I mean? So did you catch this, Adam?
Actually, I didn't get to see this match.
Oh, it was good. It was fun.
What were you gonna say, AJ? I'm sorry.
I like that. I mean, we'll get to this in the SmackDown recap, but I really wanted a clean. I mean, it was relatively clean, not really, but I wanted like a squeaky clean finish. But I know that they're continuing the feud after, you know, Brock Lesnar gets back from his suspension. So I was okay with the finish of this match. I want these guys to keep feuding. I like it. I'm on board with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it kind of kept it going. So, all right, well, AJ, 1 to 10, how do you rate the show?
7. It was a pretty good show.
It was, man. It was the best. It was the best Saudi show yet, man.
Oh, by far the best. It didn't have that house show mentality. Like, you could tell that the performers actually cared, as opposed to the previous ones were just like, yeah, whatever. We're here for a giant payday. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah. The only thing that would have made this show better is if Titus O'Neil would have stood under the ring one more time.
And then Corey Graves would have lost his shit for 3 minutes straight.
All right, next up was the go home show for Impact Wrestling. But before we get to that, I want to get to you what is going on in the world of independent wrestling here in the Midwest and everything else that I can possibly cover. So, all right, boys, let's talk about, first of all, AAW right off the bat, Adam and AJ here. Big tournament, big weekend for AAW. Hell Hath No Fury is going to be on Saturday. Friday night starts the Jim Lionel Memorial Tournament. Adam, we've been to this tournament plenty of times before.
Yeah.
Former winners of this tournament include Chris Hero, Michael Elgin, Sammy Callahan, Josh Alexander. And nobody won last year because of COVID. So
COVID won last year.
COVID won last year. So this one's going to be at the Berwyn Eagles Club. They just added your boy Trevor Outlaw, AJ, to this.
Hell yeah!
show.
I mean, fuck that guy.
Did somebody back out or somebody get injured or?
He was added to the Alive pre-show.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it wasn't like he was okay. Good. I would be kind of sad if he was like a replacement for someone.
Somebody is out of the tournament though. I can't remember who that's out. Might have already been replaced. But let me run through the matches here real fast.
He should be invited anyways. Like, why is he? Don't have him as a replacement. I know we have our little feud going, but he's awesome. Like, put him in there. Come on.
All right, so let me run over the tournament real quick, and I want you guys to give me a pick because I have a pick, and I want you guys to give me a pick. So, all right, here we go. Ace Perry versus Lee Moriarty. Shaft versus Hakeem Zane. This is all first-round matchups. Manders, one called Manders versus Alex Hammerstone, which that one's going to be awesome. ACH returning to wrestle one of his best friends, Davey Vega, in the first round. St. Louis staple there, Davey Vega. Next up, Mance Warner versus Josh Alexander. We just seen this match happen not long ago. Uriz versus Myron Reed. Daniel Garcia versus Thomas Shire. And then this is, I think, the winner of the tournament is coming out of this match, boys. Jake Something versus Matt Fitchett. Feels like it's maybe Matt Fitchett's here.
That's where I'm going. I'm going Fitchett over Vega in the finals.
Ooh.
I also think Matt Fitchett, and I would love to see him and Vega in the finals. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it sounds fitting.
I got my first taste of the besties, and now I'm like, cool.
He got to do I want to stand with you on a mountain.
This one made me laugh.
Yeah.
With the sky.
Until the sky falls down on me, just melted AJ's heart.
It did.
Right, he is a bestie in the world fan.
I was swooning.
Yep. So Fred Yehai also on that card that night wrestling Eddie Kingston. So big weekend. We'll circle back and see how we did with that one. So yeah, that's AAW this weekend. We just went to St. Louis Anarchy. We'll cover that, but they also announced November 20th. Mega Ticket is going to be their final show for a couple months, possibly. This is going to be Jeremy Wyatt's 40th title defense.
I bet he loses.
40th title defense, and of course, as he's going against Gary J. As that's how the show ended. We'll talk about that later on. Mark's Weekend, Iron Spirit Pro, December the 3rd. Back to normal in Normal, Illinois. We are sponsoring the show there for Iron Spirit Pro. And then the very next Saturday, December the 4th, Zawa Live Pro Wrestling. We are also sponsoring the show there. Let's talk about Zawa Live, too. Their champion right now is Hartenbauer, and they have a match coming, a show coming up November the 6th in Oregon, Illinois. Yes, that's actually a town. But it's named like a state. Oregon, Illinois. It's called Gold on the Ceiling. So, Glory Pro Wrestling, November 7th is WrestlePocalypse. Got a nice card there. Defy Wrestling coming up this weekend. Marauders at the Washington Hall, which is a very, very cool venue. I recommend go checking out indie wrestling there. And then Limitless does not have a show this weekend, boys, but I wanted to mention Big Beef beat Davey Richards last weekend at
Did he really?
Level
Good
of
for
Wrestling. He
him.
sure did, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be coming out on IWTV here shortly. So
Very cool.
Yeah, hell yeah, beef.
yeah, man,
It's-
awesome.
It's named like a state.
It's named like a state. Yep. Also, one last thing. I put this on the show because of Adam being here. He is a big Jonathan Gresham fan. Zello Pro, November 7th, is in a town called Lisle, Illinois, which sometimes I have to look and see where these towns are.
Lyle.
Where-
That's
Lisle, Illinois.
named like a country singer.
It's named like.
This show has a new gimmick.
Yeah,
What are towns named like?
Zello Pro, November 7th. Your boy John Gresham's going to be on the show with Jordan Grace and AJ's favorite wrestler of all time, Hornswoggle, as well.
Hornswoggle.
So he's going to be on the show.
So where is that town?
Where is that Lisle at? I think it was
Lyle
West.
is by Assumption, Illinois.
No,
I think there actually is an Assumption, Illinois. I don't know.
like there's a Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Is that what you mean?
Yes. Lyle, Illinois.
I believe it. I believe Adam. I believe it's West Chicago. I could be wrong.
It is.
It is
right
West
next
Chicago.
to Downers Grove.
Yeah, it's West Chicago. So probably a little farther north than when you're going to Berwyn. So that is the what's coming up in the Indies. So all right, let's get to Impact Wrestling. Yep, that's what's next. All right,
Yeah,
let me
Impact
pull out my notes here.
is
Impact
first up.
Wrestling. All right, so this was the go home show for Bound for Glory. In a nutshell, to bring it all together for you here, the Bullet Club, Chris Bay and Hakaleo versus Finn Juice. To open up the show. Ref gets hit, then another one fills in for him, and they both argue over who wins the match after both teams are pinning each other's opponent. So anyway, ends in a big schmoz. Next up, and then they nice little great backstory package video of Josh Alexander to kind of show who he is, where he's come from. There were some AAW highlights in there, and so just kind of to boost his character, him coming back from injury, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what was going on next with that. Next up, John Schuyler and Tennille Dashwood beat Fallah Bahh and Jordan Grace and Crazy Steve and Taurus in a thruple match. To possibly hint that Schuyler might be trying to take Caleb with a K's job from Tennille. So might be a little turmoil there inside. So inside the Tennille Dashwood camp. All right, next up. So they're forwarding this storyline with Rhino. He's in the ring with Heath. He's just kind of standing there silent. Heath is begging him to be his friend again. And Violent by Design comes out. And they both pitched their friendship to Rhino on both sides of them. It was like, should I go with them? Should I go with these? But anyway, Violent by Design ends up attacking Heath. Rhino stops him. He didn't jump back on him. He just stopped him from attacking him. And so anyway,
Stupid Rhino.
Yeah, so then he just kind of leaves. So
yeah, and he just like saunters away. He's like,
So they attack Heath again and stand tall over Heath's lying corpse as the show went off. So
I feel like that's Rhino's fault.
Mickey James won her warm-up match against Savannah Evans. Deonna Purrazzo comes out and distracts Mickey, and Matt Rehwaldt clotheslines her from behind. So a few little shenanigans there for their matches that is coming up at Bound for Glory. Brian Myers says he's time to make cuts to his team. So he basically cuts everybody on his team but VSK, and he also ends up cutting Sam Beal as well. I think he kept Zicky Dice, though.
Did he?
Yeah.
How very Ring of Honor of him.
How very. Next up, Trey Miguel versus a guy we just saw live this weekend, The Sauce, Alex Zane.
The Sauce!
Slow start to the match. It was good. Kind of what I thought it would be. Miguel ends up winning with a top rope Meteora, which a lot of those scare me sometimes. This was
they're a little...
Yeah. Macklin ends up coming in to
hope his nipples have warmed up.
I'm sure they probably have.
They were cold at the show.
Macklin comes in to destroy everybody. The Bullet Club shows up. And then so we get to the closer. It's basically a promo by Josh Alexander. Talks about, giving up the X Division title, option C. Christian comes out to face him and told him, he's nowhere near the best in the world. He's not even the best wrestler in Canada. So
Which
anyway,
is a true statement.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they brawl as the show goes off. So I'm going to go ahead and give you Bound for Glory results while we're talking about Impact Wrestling here.
Yeah.
All right. So Jordan Grace ended up winning that lousy digital media championship.
Oh, my God. Sure.
Moose ended up winning the Call Your Shot gauntlet match, which was kind of cool. It had like a Royal Rumble type feel to it.
Yeah, it did.
What
place did Moose come in?
Early, but not really early, I think.
It was like 7?
Like 7. Yeah. 7 was my guess, somewhere around in there. It was Spoose. Spoose. I was trying to say Moose Spears Cardona. So for the win, to win the gauntlet match, and then so he wins the Call Your Shot gauntlet match. So basically, it's like a Money in the Bank. He can call his shot for the title whenever he wants.
Nice.
So prelude to something happening later. Trey Miguel wins X Division 3-way match, and he is now the X Division champion. So they show him backstage celebrating. Rhino finally shows up late to be Heath's tag team partner after he's getting beat down by Violent by Design. So he comes in and gives them the gore, and they are friends again, and all is happy once again in the Heath and Rhino camp.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome Kong is inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Kong.
Totally deserve it.
That was so dumb. What is wrong with me?
The Good Brothers retain in a 3-way tag match versus Finn Juice and the Bullet Club. Mickie James versus Deonna Purrazzo. Okay, for the women's title. Now, had you thought Mickie would have won the title before this match? Do you guys would have? I wouldn't have either.
No.
But she wins by a tornado DDT after, scrap going back and forth, that kind of stuff. So, new champ, Mickie James, team Knockouts champ.
That means the average age of their two main champs is like 41.
Could be.
That's weird.
As Primo, this is where Primo would say, hardcore.
Yeah.
Next up, the finale. This is where the shenanigans all go down here, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Alexander versus Christian Cage for the Impact World title. All right. So, a great match, back and forth, technical at moments. Christian tried to make it a little high flyer, but Josh really kind of wasn't having it. This was really a showcase of Josh. Kind of all the kind of different things he can do. Me and Adam, we've seen Josh wrestle. In the Indies. AEW. He was there for a while, so he's really kind of getting out there as to what he can do, and I thought this match really kind of showcased that. But Josh ends up winning the title by an ankle lock. So he makes Christian tap out. Yeah, he ends up winning. Man, it was a hardcore kind of. I mean, it really was a great match, but I knew something was about to happen because post match, Josh's family gets in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
To celebrate, and then, it's big, huge, happy. Oh, yeah, we're going to go home, send him home happy. And then Moose's music hits. And Spoose's music hits. He comes down. He's going to cash in, call his shot. And bell rings, spear, 1, 2, 3 on Josh. And Moose is your new Impact World Heavyweight Champion. What about Moose as Impact Champ, boys?
I like it, but I wanted Josh Alexander to have it for a little bit. So that made me sad. It's happy and sad. I was very conflicted.
He still gets the chase.
Is the heat too cheap there? I mean, is it... Yeah, it felt like it was cool to hear about Josh for sure. You know,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but it also makes for a better story if Josh ends up winning it later on down the road.
just set
You
up
know,
a chase. And,
yeah, the chase, can happen later. He's I mean, he gave up basically, the title to try have a shot at that title. So
Well, plus Primo made a good point where he said it gets Christian out of the title picture for a while and just lets those two feud, which is
sure.
a good point, and I'm okay with that.
Yep, Christian can go on to other things there. So yeah,
Mhm.
so I just covered Impact Wrestling there. That was the show from Thursday, and then Bound for Glory was this past Saturday. I liked it, man. A little predictable, at times.
Except for Mickey James, that wasn't.
Yeah. I did not see that coming. Yeah, definitely, that was the shocker. I love the gauntlet match. I felt like it was a little bit of a Royal Rumble warm up, kind of.
It was a little bit.
Who was coming out, so that was pretty cool. So, all right, so AJ, you're going to take over SmackDown duties for Primo this week. So let's get to WWE SmackDown, which was from Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita, Kansas, smacking it down. Still trying to do you proud, Primo.
This was the Friday. This has been the show after Crown Jewel.
Yes, right after Crown Jewel. So, show opener, Roman Reigns arrives next to Paul Heyman. He immediately asks Paul, "Are you holding the title for me or for Brock?" Then he makes Paul give him the title. He says, "You're not great at your job," which it's just Roman Reigns being like, you're not great at your job. Roman proclaims himself the greatest Universal Champion of all time. Then he makes Paul read Brock's tweet. He then smacks Paul's phone out of his hand and says that he whooped Brock so bad that he is tweeting now. Then Roman Reigns says he's not leaving until Brock comes out. Brock finally shows up and proceeds to beat the shit out of Roman. And then it has to be broken up by, the SmackDown locker room. All the jobbers come out. And then after the commercial break, Adam Pearce says that Brock Lesnar's actions are unacceptable. Sorry, just laughing at Primo. And they're gonna... It's fair. And he suspends Brock Lesnar, which is... I feel like they do that to Brock Lesnar all the time. If they want him off the TV, they're just gonna be like, "Oh, he punched someone.
Yeah,
suspended."
That's how he gets his breaks.
Yeah, I mean, which is fine. I get it. He then, I did like this when he comes back out and he's like, "Can you?" Brock's like, "Can you say that again?" Must not have heard that correctly. And then Adam tells him again, and then Brock gives him 2 F5s. Wonderful, wonderful, good opening segment. Okay, I'm going to read this word for word because this is funny for me. According to Primo, Sonya is now in charge of the ship and it's sinking quick. But Drew McIntyre says he is going to the ring and issuing an open challenge to anyone on the SmackDown roster. Why would anyone want to answer Drew McIntyre's open challenge? Like, you don't have any belts. So who cares? He says enough of
Come
BS.
take my sword.
Come and fight me for no consequences or real gain for anything. Just come out and fight. He says enough of the BS. He was ready for a match finally. At this point, SmackDown has been on for 41 minutes out of their 2-hour time slot, and not one match has taken place. This is a very good point.
Yeah.
Drew's open challenge is answered by Sami Zayn, who also debuts new music, which I really, really liked. I thought Sami Zayn's music was awesome. And he also says that he's the longest tenured member of SmackDown. And then Drew picks up the quick victory over the SmackDown Elder. Up next, we have the coronation of King Woods. Which they are going to call him King Woods. I guess he
Yeah. I thought this was kind of uneventful, though, for... I wanted more pomp and circumstance, I guess.
I thought it was going to be a bit more, too. But I liked Kofi and... King Woods looks...
King Xavier! I wanted to do a total character change. Oh,
He's so
yeah.
happy, though.
Yeah. He won his world title.
Primo uses the word accoutrements. Very well done, Primo. So then King Xavier gives a thank you speech to all the peoples. All hail King Woods. I, aka Primo, think WWE management want to call him King Xavier, but Xavier clearly wants to be called King Woods. Xavier won that battle. He is, like, on his Twitter page, it's King Woods, so I'm assuming he won that battle. Up next, we have the debut of Hit Row. Swerve and Top Dollar are fed some local jobbers. You guys know how I personally feel about Hit Row.
Hit Row. Yeah. They
not a fan.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I kind of want them to.
I just kind of want to wait and see what they do with them. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
So up next is the main event championship swap between Becky and Charlotte. This is where all the heat stems from.
Yeah.
So Sonya orders them to swap championships and go to their respective brands as the reigning women's champions. They reluctantly swap belts. Primo, that's putting it politely. Then Charlotte says, winner take all right now. But Sasha Banks comes out to interrupt. Becky tells Sasha and Charlotte that she's going to go to Raw and see one of them at Survivor Series. Nice. Sasha and Charlotte end up brawling until they have to be separated by Sonya. Yes, them swapping titles was very polite. Charlotte went off script and threw the title down. Who knows why she's so pissy? Like, I have no idea. Guess I would be too if I were Charlotte. I don't know. But that's how SmackDown ends. Smackity down.
Yeah, they got some heat going on there, and it's kind of spilling out on the TV, and they're going. Despite being on separate brands, we got Survivor Series coming up, and you know how WWE likes to do, man. When real life beef, they're probably going to put them in a feud, a little storyline here together, possibly.
Well, it also makes me wonder, like, when Charlotte and Nia got into the in-ring shoot fight, because everyone automatically assumed it was Nia's doing because Nia sucks. But maybe it was Charlotte who was just pissy about being out there and just wanted to throw some potatoes. Which, if that's the case, fuck you, Nia. You deserve to have potatoes thrown in your face because you're awesome. Awful, not awesome.
I'm a bit removed from WWE programming.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Smart.
Is everyone sure that the heat is real? Like, is that a confirmed thing? It's not just, people getting worked or.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a confirmed thing or not.
I'm just curious.
I think it's coming from a bunch of different sources, but I don't know. I mean, it sure looked like when the belt exchange did not go like they thought it would, like it, Yes, it's like the tempers boiled over there. So
Primo just said Nia is a potato, just like that.
Next up on Friday night last week, that was SmackDown, and then let's move on to AEW AJ Rampage from Miami, Florida. AEW.
Time for AEW Rampage. Yes,
Rampage.
We're back to 1 hour boo earns. That's terrible. But
they are back to 1 hour for good now.
Yeah, so it was too fast, but some pretty solid wrestling matches. First, we have Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs, which is an eliminator match for the shot at the AEW title. I wanted Cassidy to nap in the ring again. Like, ever since I saw that clip, that's all I want him to do is to just take a nap in the ring, because that was so funny to me.
Let me ask you guys a question about this match. Mm-hmm. The crowd seemed kind of dead for Orange here. Is he kind of losing his steam?
I think so.
Is everybody kind of... What do you think, Adam?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's good that I think he can really go if they need him to, but I think it'll come a time when they just really got to turn him loose, step away from the gimmick a little bit. I think they foreshadowed that a little bit in the past month or so.
Right.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah. I would just say, I felt like he's not getting pops like he used to. Mm-mm. And I feel like he's definitely kind of cooling off here. But he hasn't been in very big feud since him and Omega touched up a little bit. So.
No, he hasn't. He's been in like lower to mid card feuds, which I mean, kind of where he should be, I guess.
Yeah, FTR best friends. He was allowed in that one a little bit, but
kind of a little bit. At one point in this match, like the ref was trying to get, like Hobbs had Orange Cassidy in the corner, and the ref was giving the 5 count. Hobbs just picks him up and moves him like a child, which made me laugh a lot because he was just like.
So that's allowed, I guess. I didn't think you could.
Yeah, you can do that in AEW, sure. But it allows Orange Cassidy to get the roll-up win. This match was it's fine. Crowd was kind of dead for it a little bit. Weren't really behind Orange Cassidy so much.
How about we talked about Lex Luger last week, and I said, has anybody done the torture rack? Has anybody done the backbreaker? And then lo and behold, here we go. Hobbs does it, and I'm like, okay, like you gotta have the physique. I feel like to pull that one off. You know what I mean? And no tugboat's going to be able to do that.
No, Dewdrop's not going to be hitting the torture rack anytime soon. I do like that Hobbs did it though. Like I feel like it's like a move for like you said, a bigger guy, preferably heel. Yeah, right. I liked it.
Yep.
So up next we have Britt Baker versus Anna Jay of Dark Order. Baker gets the win. I am counting down until they turn her face because they need to claw. They're going to turn her face. They have to. They're not going to have a choice. She is so goddamn over still. So after the match, it's a quick match. Baker gets the win. And then my girl Tay Conti comes out and makes the save, setting up a feud. Awesome.
Full gear? They going at it full gear?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Tay Conti and Britt Baker. I do know that AEW needs to kind of change up how feuds have been set up recently, because now it just seems like, all right, a beatdown starts in the ring, someone comes in, makes the save, that's how the feud starts. They've done it like 5 times now. And they'll do it again. Yeah, they'll do it again on Dynamite. Finally... So The match of the night is Pac versus Pac. Why do I always call him Pac?
Match of the night might have been the match of the fucking year. It might be in the talks, man. God damn.
It was so good.
Holy shit. I love this.
Pac versus Andrade El Idolo.
El Idolo.
So these two have so much chemistry in the ring together.
No
it's
doubt.
Almost sickening how good they are together. I didn't like the finish. I thought they deserved a better finish than a roll-up fucking pinfall for the win. Like, it's a roll-up after all that awesomeness. You're just going to roll up? Like, Didn't really like it. Also, that was the second roll-up victory of the night, which you're not WWE, AEW. Stop having so many distraction/roll-up wins for people.
Can't do that.
Ew. So up next, or after that, after Pac gets the win, the lights go out, and Malachi Black appears, and he sprays some goo, we'll say. He's just like... Brrr.
The old Kabuki mist.
Yes, it wasn't quite like the that Tajiri green mist. It was goo. He was just like... Bleh. And then Cody comes out and makes the save for that one. Cody gets
crowd.
Boo.
Yeah. Well, the crowd seemed, they put it this way, they seemed more over for him this time than they did for the actual match, which I think was the same crowd, I believe.
Yeah, well, yes.
So,
I think it was.
because Rampage was
filmed.
One of them was filmed. Yeah, so, but I want to say real quick, too, holy shit, the Avalanche Brainbuster in that El Idolo
insane
match. Oh my god,
absolutely insane.
Oh my lord, that was incredible.
So good. Like,
where did Murder Hawk land on his head? Was it on this one or was it on?
No, that was Dynamite.
Oh god,
we'll get to that. Woo.
Oh man, okay.
That is scary. So that ends AEW Rampage.
That Avalanche Brainbuster, by the way, got me up off my couch.
It was awesome.
I literally hopped up on my couch with doing an Adam with my hands on my head, like. So Dynamite was on Saturday for the last time. It's heading back to Wednesdays. starting tonight, actually. So, and they got a loaded card tonight. It's going to be awesome.
They do.
Orlando, Florida. So I guess they were separate crowds then. So Miami and Orlando. So Dynamite, Orlando, Florida. Bryan Daniel looking good, baby.
Wait, is it my turn again? Oh, yeah, it is my turn again.
You're still going Dynamite.
So, Bryan Danielson versus Dustin Rhodes for another Eliminator match. This match is awesome, too. Who knew that at the age of 55, or however fucking old he is, Dustin Rhodes is still putting on just awesome matches.
He's awesome.
So, it's amazing. He's in his prime now. Like, fuck off, the natural Dustin Rhodes when you were 23. Oh, you're awesome now.
On Halloween Havoc.
Yes.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was awesome in '93 also.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Is awesome the word you guys want to use right now?
The natural.
With the worst goddamn music ever.
Natural.
Ugh. So, before this match starts, they shake hands, my favorite spot. This match wasn't a lot of storytelling. It was just simple and awesome. So awesome. There's a bow and arrow by Danielson, and at one point, Dustin hits the snap power slam, which is like he and Randy Orton do the best snap power slams like in the business. It's so good. And then a superplex off the top rope. Bryan goes for the running knee, and Dustin hits a clothesline that he the Rikishi bump where he like flips inside out like on a clothesline. He does Bryan does that. But then Danielson gets the win with a guillotine. I don't think he's won a match the same way twice since he has debuted for AEW. I think it's changed each time, and I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, my notes were Bryan looks motivated as fuck. He's in great shape. And he's getting defined, like you can see, like he's he's sculpting out, and I think he's bulking up a little bit too. Like I think he's got a little bit more mass on him. But that was my question to you guys: is Bryan's new finisher is that he don't have a consistent finisher?
All of them.
You know what I mean?
He's going to do all of them because he can do all of them. So fuck it, throw all of them in there.
I've seen a very large percentage of all of his matches, and I don't recall him finishing a match with that. So
no,
that might be where he's going with this.
If we just use the guillotine as, I hope that he just switches it up because right now he's won 5 different ways. Like it's amazing.
Yeah,
because he's won with the heel hook, the lapel lock, running knee, guillotine, and the cattle mutilator. Like 5 different ways. It's amazing. No finisher. Fuck a finisher.
Pretty dope.
It's awesome.
He can't be predictable that way.
No.
I don't know what's coming.
He's so good. Love this match. Go watch it. Up next, we have Sting and MJF, who, my God, he continues to just push every single envelope that can be pushed. This time, he talks about how Darby Allin's going to end up in a wheelchair like Lex Luger. It's like, Jesus, man. It's like Sting's real life best friend. Like,
he has.
He's going to end up in a wheelchair.
Man, they let him go, man. That's so good.
And it is magic. Every time he talks is just magic. Sting ends up getting the beatdown, or he ends up getting beat down, and no one comes out and makes the save, which is fine. But after that, there's another backstage segment where Wardlow and MJF kind of get into it a little bit. So they're planting the seeds for that eventual feud, which is going to be awesome as well.
Yep.
Up next, Penelope Ford versus Ruby Soho in a TBS tournament match.
Destination unknown.
Go on.
This is where you go. Ruby,
No.
Ruby Soho.
You have to finish it.
You know how I know that song? It used to be on Guitar Hero.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, it was on Guitar Hero, and it was one of the easier ones I learned. So yeah,
good
talk.
Sometimes cool story, Eric. Sometimes I regret how good I got at that game.
Indeed. Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like, why don't I just play my actual guitar? At one point, I had it sitting next to the stupid plastic guitar. And I'm like, real guitar, Guitar Hero, Guitar Hero.
Sometimes I laugh
So
at
dumb.
asking my wife to get me one of those for Christmas.
What, like an actual guitar?
No, a Guitar Hero set. as a 40-year-old man.
I
don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
It is. We didn't have those growing up, man. So we play them when you can play them, right?
I know. Kids today are spoiled. We had Nintendo and
That's
Atari. Right. Well, you had Atari and Pong. I had Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Get it? Because we haven't made an old joke yet.
We haven't made an old joke in a while. Yep,
I was pretty sure that was the road we were going down about.
It's okay. It's okay. I am half the size of Dirty, so it's fine. Like he could pick me up like a child if he wanted to, like a papoose.
Like Goldberg did the referee by his pants.
by his trousers.
Oh, good stuff.
Picked him up like a child. Where are we? Do we know how this match ends? Oh, guess how it ends? A roll up. Weird.
Hey,
Soho gets the win. With a roll up, which is too many roll ups. Stop it. Although I will say Penelope Ford looked fantastic. She is progressing so quickly and so
yeah, she is. Yeah, a roll up too, man. That's like a surprise pin. It's not supposed to be used all the time. You know what I mean? It's like a like an accident. Pull them down by the tights and catch them while they're distracted type of.
Well, plus it's someone can take the pin without suffering, really. Like the loss won't hurt them if it's a roll up.
Right.
Yeah, too many roll ups can end up feeling like a cop out too.
True. WWE.
Yeah.
Just saying. Too many. So next match, Bobby Fish versus Anthony Green. Anthony Green just gets demolished by Bobby Fish. It was just a squash match.
Retro AG.
Yes, like he comes back and just gets his face kicked in.
Bobby had to win one. He's been putting people over the last few weeks.
Yes. Well, he'll get put over himself. He'll lose, but because guess who makes the save after the post-match beatdown? CM Punk.
Yep.
So that's their next. That match is going to be fantastic, and Bobby Fish is going to look real nice after that. Why does CM Punk want to fight Bobby Fish? Like Bobby Fish and CM Punk are like the same age. I thought CM Punk wanted to fight like the young guys.
Because he wants to know how much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish.
He should talk to Riddle. You guys remember that time that
never
Riddle
answered it?
Remember that time that Riddle forgot his lines halfway through and then just scooted off? Like that was. I saw that on.
Yeah, go Google that. It's kind of funny.
It's so funny.
He like awkwardly walked on.
He like just stops like mid sentence. It's like I don't know what I'm saying, and then just goes away.
That would happen to me all the time if I was a wrestler.
But then he just scoots away. It's amazing.
Funny stuff.
Okay, so now we come to the Sir Murderhawk versus Eddie Kingston match.
Yeah.
First, Murderhawk's a plant in the crowd. It was supposed to be a fan that Murderhawk just beats the shit out of.
He does.
So
Eddie is over. Eddie is over,
yes.
By the way. Good God.
Oh my God, yes. Like, so over. So then, Sir Murderhawks himself, oh my God.
Oh God, we thought
he lands on his head. And
Bounce.
He was injured.
Bounce.
So, because they ended it right after that. Like, that happens, the ref talks to him for like 2 seconds, and then Eddie just pins him real fast.
Yeah, they went right to the pin.
It was gross looking.
Yeah, I won't rewatch that.
No.
It was flat on the top, man.
Yeah. He got spiked. Oh, it was gross. So they end the match. Hopefully he's okay. No concussions, no neck injuries.
He tweeted that he's okay.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Because that was scary.
The next day.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So up next, quick promo with the Men of the Year and Sammy Guevara. Dan Lambert continues to be awesome. Ethan Page continues to be awesome. So up next, it's going to be Ethan Page versus Sammy Guevara for the TNT title, which I look forward to that match. I think that's going to be really good. So, main event time, Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes for round 3 of their little feud. So,
did you guys see the kid that caught Cody's belt?
No, I didn't see him.
You know how he takes his little weight belt off and he throws it in the crowd?
Yeah.
Well, he throws it in the crowd and there's these like hands going everywhere. And this little kid looks like he's probably 5 foot or shorter, catches it, and like everybody picks him up and puts him on their shoulders, and you see him with the belt up in the air like he won the championship. And all this is going on behind them while they're getting ready to get starting the match.
Was that me?
It was pretty wild. I think it was you. He was too tall to be you.
There it is.
Oh!
Hey-oh.
Belts probably weren't even invented when you kid had to wear suspenders or something. Suspenders invented before belts. Someone in the chat, look that up. What came first, suspenders or belts? I'm gonna go with suspenders. I feel like people in old timey like movies and stuff always wear suspenders instead of belts. I don't know.
One more note too, real quick. During Cody's match, I was annoyed by the picture-in-picture Cody's match, and then the picture-in-picture of Rhodes to the top.
Yeah, there was a little.
He's talking about being booed as a babyface, and he's over here probably about to get booed as a babyface again.
Yep.
Yeah,
he did.
This weird timing. Like, yeah. Anyway,
I mean, AEW's done that a couple of times. I don't know if it's intentional or not, because if it is, they're geniuses.
The pizza cutter.
Yes.
So there were 2 spots in this match. One where Cody Rhodes goes to put the crossroads on Malachi Black through a table and just botches it completely, where Cody Rhodes took the brunt of all of it. And even Tony Schiavone was like, oh no, I'm sorry, it was Excalibur who was like, I think that hurt Cody Rhodes more than it hurt Malachi Black, which I absolutely believe that. Yeah. And then Cody Rhodes hits the crossroads again and then wins with the Tiger Driver? Is that what it is? And beats Malachi Black. And then after that, many schmozzes ensue, but I kind of skipped those because I don't want multiple schmozzes.
I mean, you guys think Cody should have went over here?
Yeah, why not?
Malachi still feels new to me.
So I feel like the Cody booing kind of started at the beginning of this feud because I felt like everyone knew that eventually Cody was going to go over.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of felt like everybody was like, we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the table spot during the commercial that AJ was talking about, that he took was like, during that. So I don't know. I just feel like it was just a lot of Cody, when we supposedly thought being the EVP, he was going to kind of go away, for a little while, Yeah. I mean, I still like Cody too, Primo, but
I do too.
I don't know. It just seems like he's kind of maybe writing his own story here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like to kind of go away, for a little while. But
like the ending of that match is what people were booing before it happened.
Right.
Yeah, they kind of saw it coming a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I don't think it hurt Malachi Black, like losing the match, like because I still think he looks awesome and super strong, and I think Cody Rhodes will just go away for a while now. Got his win.
Another thing too is this roster is really filling up, and a lot of people I think might be wanting to see Cody go to more of a backstage role because whenever he's on TV, they probably feel like he's kind of taken away from all these new guys and new shiny puppies that they have. But
shiny puppies, puppies aren't supposed to be shiny.
I do think it's funny when Arn came out, the crowd was chanting, "Get the Glock."
Get the Glock.
Yeah.
Get the Glock.
That was funny. Anything else on Dynamite there?
Nope.
A to the J?
Nope. Done. Fiend.
So
get the fuck out of here.
Is Cody going away now, or is this just...
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either.
I mean, he might say that he is. He might put his other boot in the ring, and someone will steal it, but he'll be back to collect his boot, so who knows. His Becky boot.
All right, so let's move on to WWE Monday Night Raw, which is usually Primo's spot here, so I'll take over this one for him here as he has some notes and so do I. So Monday Night Raw from Houston, Texas. So they said this is the season premiere. Does this mean after the draft? That's
Who
when
the
we're trying to
fuck
determine
knows?
when the season premiere started. So I don't know, but either way. Primo's notes here. WWE champion Big E arrives to open up the show and hypes up Houston as he starts the Who's Next speech. He is quickly interrupted by Seth Rollins dancing again, and I freaking love it. I don't know. It's heely, it's heelish to me, and I love it, man. I love it. Seth demands the title, but Big E reminds him that he lost the edge, so he needs to go to the back of the line. So as it seems that Seth may be close to persuading Big E to change his mind, Big Daddy Rey Mysterio interrupts. And my next note was, and capitalize, no Ray.
No Ray.
No Ray. And he says it's been a minute since him and Seth have seen eye to eye. Then he begins to make his claim to being a contender for the title.
Did it eye to eye?
Eye. Right after Ray has finished speaking, the runner-up to the King of the Ring tournament comes out, your boy Finn Balor. And he goes on to throw down his resume as well. And then next in the talent pool to come out is the guy that looks like Primo's older brother, Kevin Owens. So he throws down his resume as well. Sonya finally comes out to make a compromise. So we're going to have ourselves a fatal four-way match, ladder match, to see who's going to be the number one contender. Then next up, the tag team triple threat. For the tag team championship opportunity between Alpha Academy, the Dirty Dogs, and the Street Profits. What? Dirty Dogs and the Street Profits. And then Dirty Dogs win, and they will take on RK Bro for the tag titles. And then next up is Queen Zelina's new, her little coronation for her being the new queen. She makes the announcer redo her introduction as she is doing this weird regular voice mixed with kind of a queen's English voice that I was picking up as well. So it's like she wants to be an English queen, but not really. You know, it's like sometimes she is, sometimes she's not. So that was a little odd. So while she's doing the Queen's crown is so much cooler looking than the King of the Ring crown, says Primo. So she speaks out on what sort of queen she will be during her reign, and then she proceeds to get a royal victory over Dewdrop. Next up, the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch comes out. She says she will pick up where she left off. And she never lost the Raw Women's title. She basically talks about how she will beat up all the women on the roster, yada, yada, yada. Bianca Belair comes out and interrupts her. And then after a solid promo from Bianca making her claim for another title match, Becky says she needs to go to the back of the line. So usual stuff there. Then Bianca snaps, beats the crap out of Becky until Becky is finally able to get the upper hand and escape. And Becky tells Bianca that she will get her match, but just not tonight. A couple other notes. Damian Priest debuts some cool new music for his U.S. Contenders match against T-Bar. T-Bar gets DQ'd after throwing a chair at Damian Priest. Priest snaps and annihilates him. Keith Bearcat Lee. What do you think about the Bearcat Lee name, Adam? We've seen Keith Lee wrestle a lot, man.
It makes me chuckle. Was that good or bad? I don't know. But as soon as you said it just now, I smiled and chuckled. So.
It's funny, man, because they waited to. I feel like they waited to debut him in Cincinnati too. Like, I don't know if you knew that too, but
Really?
that was the first time we saw and heard of Bearcat Lee was University of Cincinnati. Monday Night Raw. It was awful. It's terrible.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. RK Bro defeated the Dirty Dogs to retain their tag titles. Starting to see a little bit of maybe some possible breakup of RK Bro on down the line, getting little tidbits there between them. So, all right, a couple
Keep them
notes.
together.
What's that?
Keep them together.
Yeah, keep them together. Why not? It's kind of the best thing going right now, really, on Raw, if you really look down to it.
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to say, too, man. Montez Ford, to me, he's looking more and more like a singles competitor. Like, you know what I mean? Just because he can go on his own, he can talk. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I feel like that might be a guy they look into later as a possible getting a big push for a single.
When they made that tag team, they stuck him with the most tenured guy in NXT. So they kind of put him with the vet of developmental. So they had, I think they saw that early that,
Yeah, same. Angelo had been in NXT a long time, hadn't he? Yeah. I thought so.
I think he was the most tenured guy in all of developmental and NXT. So that could have been the plan all along.
Yeah, definitely could. All right, so our main event was the Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the number one contendership between Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, and Rey Mysterio. Primo said that he enjoyed this match. I did too. Yeah, I like ladder matches as well. You kind of know how they're going to be, but you're always interested in watching in how they're laid out and how they're executed. So, fun fact, the last ladder match on Raw was when Andrade and Rey Mysterio had a ladder match for the U.S. Championship back in January of 2020. However, there was an even longer gap between that match and the next previous Raw ladder match. It was 2007 when Jeff Hardy took on Carlito for the IC Championship. So Seth Rollins wins the match and earns his opportunity to face Big E for the WWE Championship, just as they alluded to in the beginning of the show when Rollins comes out dancing. And I guess, do we have any more pay-per-views before they get to Survivor Series?
No. I think Survivor Series is the next one.
That's right. So Rollins win the match. Yeah, I mean, could be another title run for Rollins. And Monday night, Rollins is officially back.
I would love another title run for Rollins, but I don't want Big E to lose it yet. But I love Seth Rollins. But I love Big Lee.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like this Big E title run is going to have some stank on it for a while.
Yeah,
we're in for it at least a year, I think. At least a year.
Oh, I missed Bearcat.
You did. We were talking about that too. Bearcat Lee. All right, next up is so that was Monday Night Raw. So last night I covered NXT 2.0. This was their version of Halloween Havoc. So I think most of us usually watch this one. They brought in Chucky to do a little cross promoting for his show that's on TNT too, I guess, or what channel are they on? USA.
Yes, USA.
Chucky, the lead-in was funny. My favorite line, he said that him and Ciampa have something in common. They live by the same motto. And about that time, it played that part of Ciampa's song where it says, "No one will survive." And so he said that he liked that. So anyway, he broke down the whole card of what happens that night. He ended up coming back in the card later on. He ends up getting to pick a stipulation of the match. So anyway, the lead-in match was the Scareway to Hell ladder match between between Starks and EO, the champs, versus Toxic Attraction, AJ's favorite name right now.
So stupid.
Versus Persia.
Toxic Attraction.
Parat, I think was her name, and Indy Hartwell. So, but anyway, typical ladder stuff, but it kept me interested because I do love ladder matches. Good spots. I was scared a few times, so that was good. That's always a good ladder match when I'm scared.
When you're terrified that somebody's injuring themselves.
Yeah, well, when you tense up a little bit, you know what I mean? That's how you know
watching a ladder match is like, hey, where's the train wreck? You're just
someone is hurting their backs at some point.
It definitely is. So as the match goes, Starks botches kind of a flip twist moonsault off the top rope where she kind of awkwardly lands on her knee. I thought she blew it out, but she kept going. But probably the bump of the night was Io. She took a hard bump off of a 10-foot ladder. Okay, imagine being on the 10-foot ladder. Somebody comes and pushes it over. Well, you hit the ropes as you come down, and it flips you over onto another ladder that's already laid across the ring. So she flat backed that thing.
Yeah.
Like from way high up.
Well, and she didn't hit like the middle of the ladder where it would give the most.
Yeah,
she hit like the edge of the ladder where there was like no give whatsoever.
And she kind of peeled off like, you know, when shit hits a wall and just slowly comes down. Or something, whenever something hits the wall, you know what I mean? That's the way she kind of came off. People, you know, but that was an awesome spot there, man. That was pretty cool. Toxic Attraction ends up winning the match after Gigi boots Indy off of the ladder, and they are the new women's tag team champion. Prelude to Toxic Attraction having a big night here.
Stupid Toxic Attraction, so dumb.
Next up, kind of funny spots throughout the night. Carmelo Hayes and Tricky are on like a spooky hunt for his North American title, which they end up calling Dexter Loomis's house, which is basically looked like a haunted house. So Gargano and Loomis were there, so it was quite funny. Grayson Waller comes out next. He is allegedly the new host. And then Joe Gacy comes out as well as he beats Malik Blade. Adam, have you got a chance to see Joe Gacy in this role here?
I have not. No, I have to.
It's it has a little bit of Bray Wyatt in it. It's a little bit of a everybody is inclusive gimmick, and violence isn't the answer. But his answer to everything is violence.
His violence.
So yeah, and he's it's kind of a Bray Wyatt vibe, but no Fiend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
I've got this show on the DVR still. I haven't got to it, so
yeah.
You all are gonna sell me on this show if I'm going to put my time into it or not. So.
All right. Well, next up is the all Malcolm Jenkins Diamond Mine Invitational. Basically, they're coming out saying anybody can come out and challenge anybody in the Diamond Mine. They are up for it. Out comes Odyssey Jones, who very badly needs new gear. His gear looks like he's been wearing it since day one of training. Like he needs something else, man. I don't know what it is, but
stinky gear.
It's just plain. It needs something. So, but anyway, so he comes out and he challenges Roddy, and the funny part of that was Malcolm made me pop because he looked at Odyssey Jones and he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "we both know you ain't 205 pounds." So Odyssey starts sucking his belly in, you know, talking about like, "Oh, I'm in shape, you know. But end up being a schmozzy finish as Diamond Mine ends up jumping in, collecting. So next up, Mandy versus Raquel. Mandy from Toxic Attraction versus Raquel Gonzalez, the NXT Women's Champion. Spin the wheel, make the deal. Raquel rides a motorcycle to the ring. And so she comes there and spin the wheel, make the deal. It lands on Chucky's Choice. So basically, the little redheaded fuck Chucky comes back on the screen, and he's like, "Oh, well, it's my favorite. Then we're going to have a trick or street fight."
So, in the NXT universe, Chucky is a real thing. Just want to throw that out there right now. It's like how RoboCop was on WCW. Same thing. Chucky is a real entity in the NXT universe.
This match got hardcore at times with kendo sticks, ring steps involved. Mandy kept kicking out of a lot of pins. And then the finish of the match, it was actually pretty good, man. I'll be honest, guys. I think this is probably Mandy's best match yet.
Ever? Yes.
Yeah, ever. Laying it on the line, totally out of character. She didn't have to, play sidekick to Sonya. She didn't have to pull off the Blondie gimmick. She went at it, man. She tried to lay it all out there. So I think it was her best match. I was interested most of the night. So anyway, mysterious lady, if you will, of the night shows up in a dark cloak and looking like a grave digger in the night. She hits Raquel Gonzalez with the shovel in the back, and that will help Mandy. I guess kind of a V trigger, a Kinshasa sort of knee for the win. And I was shocked by this, man. New women's champion, Mandy, is the NXT champion, and Toxic Attraction. Everybody in Toxic Attraction has gold now. So what do you guys think about that, man?
Putting over Toxic Attraction. Yeah. And I'm going to stop saying that name now. I do like Mandy Rose. I've always liked Mandy Rose.
Yeah, so
I like her with her brunette hair too.
She's proved she's the baddest bitch in the game, I guess, after saying it. So,
but Toxic Attraction is no one's going to take you seriously with that name. Yeah, it's terrible.
All right, the rest of the show: Carmelo Hayes and Trick Daddy. I guess his name is it's just Tricky. I don't know why I said Tricky. Trick Daddy's a rapper, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Okay, thank you. They're still looking for the North American title. Andre Chase joins the hunt. They ended up finding the title, and kind of hilarity ensues. Pretty funny, man. Check it out. Loomis and Gargano ends up running them off, but he does have the North American title back in his possession. Next segment, Grayson Waller comes out dressed up like a vampire saying he's the host. And then your boy L.A. Knight comes out dressed like a vampire.
Let me talk to you. That's what Primo usually does.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
Says he's the host of the show. And then we get the debut of Solo Sikoa. I think I said
Solo Sikoa. Looking like a blonde-headed Uso.
Yeah, the Uso's younger brother shows up, takes out Grayson Waller, and then he flexes to the camera, and we have another nice-looking, like you said, could be another part of the bloodline later on.
I hope so.
Yeah.
They need the IC belt.
All right, next up, Primo's favorite tag team in the world, MSK,
Boo.
with a DJ that brought him to the ring versus Imperium in a Lumberjack O'Lantern match. Lumberjack match, the spin wheel, make the deal. This match was kind of nuts, man. High spots, back and forth. All kind of hilarity ensued with everybody being outside the ring. They kept saying had been at the party all night. They were showed drinking backstage before the Lumberjack match. So everybody comes out. So, but Imperium ends up getting the W, and they are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. MSK finally loses the tag titles. Crazy, man, crazy. And I kind of didn't see this coming. Here with the big forearm.
I wasn't booing MSK, by the way. The crowd was booing MSK. Not me. I love MSK.
Yeah,
I didn't see this coming either.
Yeah, it was, I kind of thought maybe they would hold on to it, but Imperium back in the tag title. So every title match has changed hands so far, heading into the main event. So I felt like Tommaso Ciampa was probably going to be safe. Very rarely do they every title changes hands. It just doesn't happen in wrestling. Yeah, clean doesn't happen very often. But we get to the main event, Braun Breaker versus the NXT heavyweight champion, Tommaso Ciampa. Very good match. I thought Ciampa made the match. It had Braun kicking out of a lot of finishers. A lot of things that puts guys away, a lot of Ciampa's big moves. So this really elevated Braun. Ciampa ends up putting his finisher on Braun a few times for the win. So I thought this was really good Halloween Havoc, man. I dug it, man. I thought it was a pretty good show. I was glad Breaker didn't get the belt too. I didn't think it was time to put it on yet.
I was scared that he was going to, but I'm glad they didn't. Also, did you see him pull a Scott Steiner and slip off the middle rope?
Yep.
In true Scott Steiner fashion. I like that a lot.
He's starting to say like Freakzilla and Dogface Gremlin, stuff like that, adding that into his repertoire. So that is the recap of the week.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big Beef.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Next up is, so that is the recap of all the wrestling over the past week since we've gotten to talk to you last. Thank you very much, AJ. So let's get to our Dropkick discussion of the week today. We are going to talk about our final Halloween Havoc. This one is from 1993. We got Adam involved in this one as well. Let me give you some little notes here to start this one. So, boys, Halloween Havoc 1993. Your boy, the Dirty Bird, was a very fresh and what's fresh?
You set this up.
I know. I was a very, very charming 18 years old when this pay-per-view happened. This was the 5th Halloween Havoc in history. On October 24th, 1993, it was held in the Lakefront Arena on the University of New Orleans, which the backdrop looked weird here. It just didn't look like a wrestling venue, kind of. Didn't it look like a little weird? Like it seemed like there was too much light. It needed to be a little.
It looked
dark.
like those like haunted, like you get on the little train car and it goes around in a circle in the haunted house at the fair. It was like it reminded me of one of those.
Yeah. So, spin the wheel, make the deal. We know the Halloween Havoc moniker here. Tony Schiavone and Jesse Ventura are your commentators. Schiavone's dressed up like Ventura, which is funny.
I loved it. Loved it.
We got about 6,000 people in the house here to start. And, I love it, too. We're still pre-internet. Did you guys notice anything right off the bat? I noticed flash cameras was the first thing I noticed.
All over the place, yes.
Yeah.
Like it was distracting and cool at the same time.
Yeah, pretty amazing here. So we had 8 matches here to start the card. The main event was Big Van Vader versus Cactus Jack. We'll get to that here. So I had the openers here as we start with the pay-per-view started with a creepy video of a very clean-shaven Tony Schiavone. This didn't age well. This didn't age well, boys.
No, he's like, kids coming to my house while I'm wearing my smoking jacket. Like, no, Tony, no, don't do that.
Oh, what's that you smell? Well, come on in and find out.
Have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Yeah, right.
Do you like Gladiator movies?
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, right off the bat, man, it was funny, and so it was a little lead-in video as Schiavone was trying to get some kids to come in, so the kids come in, he turns into a monster, and so really ridiculous. But the start of the show, we got a 6-man tag team match.
All-star tag.
Yeah, all-star tag, without a doubt. The Harlem Heat and the Equalizer versus Ice Train, Charlie Norris, and my favorite goofball wrestler of all time, the Shockmaster.
God, that is a team, right? That's like the 52 Yankees. It's the murderer's row of WCW.
WCW shit right here, man. So we get a big choo-choo by the Ice Train to start the match, and right off the bat, I'm like, God damn it, I forgot he even done that shit. Choo-choo! But
right off the bat, I was like, yes, this is exactly the kind of nonsense I love.
All right, so right off the bat, which this happened throughout the whole damn pay-per-view, in 1993, boys, there was ironically enough, a rap group called Tag Team.
Oh my God.
They had this damn song called Won't There It Is, and it was the biggest song of 1993. let's see, what else was big 1993? Nothing but a G thing, I can tell you that.
Yes.
Sir
I think
Mix-a-Lot.
Informer, maybe? Like
maybe
Snow?
Informer, Snow. Yeah, Big Butts by Sir Mix-a-Lot was one of them, too. So throughout this whole damn show, they kept saying, whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. So the chants broke out the whole time during the crowd. Yeah, and I also got a note here of how the hard cam background made it look weird. What you got?
Achy Breaky Heart was also a big hit in 1992. Rump Shaker by Rex in Effect.
Okay.
Oh, man, these are classics. Free Your Mind by En Vogue.
What a year.
Free your mind. Oh, man.
And the rest will follow.
All right, so this finish was, every time Shockmaster got in the ring, he was a punch, and that was it. He was a punch, right? So the finish
stupid
was
fucking tugboat.
Was this dude hot tagging? It was a hot tag to the Shockmaster.
Fuck that shit.
Who got Booker T in a bear hug and then did like a sit down slam on him for the 1, 2, 3. Shockmaster was hilarious, man. He punched his way through this whole damn match.
Awesome.
He really did. That's all he did.
Every time he come in, whoa, here he comes, the Shockmaster.
Oh, then the fucking crowd.
So Shockmaster, he's wearing flannel jeans, and he comes to the ring with the thing on his head, and then he takes it off when the stormtrooper, and then he takes it off when they start. So
glitter stormtrooper,
the bedazzled stormtrooper helmet.
Next up, we had a small little backstage between Bischoff, who is interviewing a young-looking Eric Bischoff, who is interviewing the old Red Rooster himself, Terry Taylor.
Oh my God!
Who will be the referee for the Rick Rude Ric Flair match later that AJ will cover.
I can't wait.
And looking suspicious as he only can, he says that he's going to call it right down the middle. So,
by the way, what did you think of when you saw Eric Bischoff's costume immediately? Because
at
first I was like, is he a Confederate general? Is that what? Is he dressed as a Confederate? And then it was obviously, fucking what's his name?
They say Custer.
Custer, General
Custer. Yeah, dressed up as Custer. So next match was Paul Orndorff versus one of my dad's favorite wrestlers of all time, because he's that old school. Rest in peace, Dad. The Assassin #1 comes to the ring with Paul Orndorff. Now, legend has it, the Assassin was a gazillion different people, but there was only like 1 or 2 that had numbers, okay? So there was Assassins all over the territories back in the day, but there was #1 and #2, and but this one was #1. You can never tell the difference.
That's amazing.
So he wrestled Ricky Steamboat, and apparently this was a last-minute plug-in for Orndorff, because Steamboat was supposed to wrestle somebody else that was a foreign wrestler. I can't remember his name, but ended up getting hurt. So Ricky had this side feud going with Orndorff. So this is why they plugged in Orndorff here. Okay. So, but hey, did you see classic entrance with the Ricky Steamboat blowing the fire?
Loved it.
The camera caught him wiping his mouth off, which
to get the crud off his mouth.
Yeah, and because I remember that him saying he had problems because he had to hold that stuff in his mouth. So.
Mm-hmm. Like teeth problems, like the enamel was wearing away and stuff. And
the difference was in WWF, he held it in his mouth all the way to the ring till he spit it. At WCW, he put it in his mouth right before he spit it.
Yeah, like got it out of there super lickety split.
So after that, a classic wrestling match. I mean, these guys knew how to get the crowd. You know what I mean? They had them in the palm of their hands. The Assassin #1 ended up putting something in the top of his mask. It looked like a block of salt, like a salt lick.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. He just stuck it up in there, and then he headbutts Steamboat outside the ring. Steamboat is flat out on his face. Referee didn't see it. Counts him out. Paul Orndorff, last minute plug into the match, is your winner. Heel heat here. Heat for Orndorff. But man, Rest in peace, man. Paul Orndorff, he passed not long ago. So
Yeah.
So those are the top 2 matches. Next up on the card is where Adam comes in for matches 3 and 4 on the card here.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you all custom picked these for me, man. I enjoyed the hell out of these. I might go watch them when we get off here.
Oh, man, love it.
The first one I had was television champ Stephen William Regal against Davey Boy Smith.
Wow.
And man, it'd been a long time since I'd seen this. And I was pretty sure Davey was going to show out here, and he threw out all his flashy stuff, World of Sports stuff, all that stuff. But the entertaining stuff was really just everything else. The wrestling was a blast, but Jesse on commentary, talking about how Davey Boy was poor. Awesome.
Yeah.
Davey, I mean, when you say a yoked version of Davey, I don't know what that's really saying, but holy hell.
A yoked
Jacked,
version.
man.
I mean,
yes.
He looked uncomfortably
His skin looks like it's about to
huge.
pop.
He had stretch marks on his pecs.
Like, I was sitting there like, he can't put his arms down. How, does he have to wipe his ass with like a rag on a stick? Like, how does... Because he's so huge that his arms are like this.
It was amusing to see the... I don't know. That might be the most yoked version of him, of a guy that was yoked every time you've ever seen him wrestle.
Looked like he got stung by 1,000 bees.
I probably agree, man. God, he was so jacked.
He was huge.
Regal was the best at working that television time limit, the 15 minutes. Worked tons of draws, but he pulled the crowd in every time. Worked it right down to the end, and it was always, cheap shit. Everyone's mad when he gets the time limit and retains the title. Great stuff.
It
William
really was.
Regal back then, like, I forgot, the most recent versions of him, he uses all the same mannerisms, but they're just times 10. Mm-hmm. Just the snobbiness, and it was great. It was,
facial expressions. Yeah. He worked the crowd, man. Like, just he did the small things great.
Remember when he made Goldberg look like an absolute useless tool? It's one of my favorite matches ever.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Goldberg.
And that goes to how great he is. He can have a match and be non-cooperative and make the match great.
Mm-hmm.
He's
also stiff as shit, which I also appreciate. He's very stiff in the ring.
Yes.
I love his sense of humor too. I think he's got a really good sense of humor.
I do too.
Yeah.
So before the next match, they did have a segment in between where they did spin the wheel, make the deal. Another shot of Bischoff looking absolutely ridiculous.
He really did.
They spun the wheel and had some dollar store pyrotechnics.
I know, they were like, and then that was like it.
They used some sparkle cones or something.
Right, yeah.
It was that's how I remember that cornball stuff is how I really remember that era of WCW. And it's
the best.
It's
just
great.
The best.
Yeah. They were really stoked with where the wheel landed. That was Vader. They were pretty happy with the stipulation.
Yep.
Texas Death Match.
Texas Death Match.
It's like they planned it beforehand.
Who knew?
Marks.
Next match. Television Championship, right? What was it?
Steve Austin.
Stunning Steve Austin.
Stunning Steve Austin.
And the man with the best entrance music of the night, The Natural.
The Natural.
No,
there it is.
That is incorrect.
Come on, sing it.
What?
I heard you humming it earlier. Come on.
Natural.
You heard nothing.
The natural.
You know what?
It says
Just for
the
that.
natural like 10 times before he gets to.
This match, the in-ring stuff was great. Seeing young versions of these guys go at it, awesome. Dustin Rhodes has had some of the coolest punches for the past 30 years of wrestling.
He knows how to lay them in there.
Yeah, his body shots, that weird slapping punch that he does, love it. He hit all his big stuff, the running clothesline.
Young Dusty, man. He just looked like a young Dusty, didn't he?
Yeah. The big spot of the match for me, and it started the story of the match, though, was Austin taking that insane bump out of the ring.
Yeah.
He did the knee into the turnbuckle like he was going to do the psychosis bump, and then just ended up bumping straight to the floor, and then, sold the knee big the rest of the match. Pretty delightful.
That's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
I've got one for you too. Sorry.
I didn't
That was In Vogue, Never Gonna Get It. The number 3 hit song of 1993. Sorry.
The ending of the match.
Pardon AJ while he listens to Destiny's Child during the pod.
It was In Vogue, not Dustin's Child.
Sorry, my bad.
It's better than Dustin Rhodes' music.
The end of the match was a little weird, where Austin
Yeah.
gets the pin, and then the ref decides that he did see the foot on the rope. Dustin gets
There was a lot of weird reffing.
Yeah, Dustin gets a pretty weak roll up and wins. It made me wonder if something went wrong somewhere in there. But then after the match, Austin absolutely annihilates him with a belt shot. Just swung for the
pretty
fence.
bad.
Run across, yeah. He come across him hard, too. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, nice spot there. Yeah, I thought you would enjoy those matches there, man. So that was matches 3 and 4 on the card. As AJ Carr matches 6 and 7. I'm just going to be 5 and 6 is yours.
5 and 6. So they go to Jesse Ventura and Tony Schiavone. Jesse looks at Tony and goes, "You have a sad boa." Made me laugh so much.
Yeah, he told me he had like a cheap one or something, like a
he
baby
called it
boa.
sad. So my first match was the Nasty Boys versus Marcus Alexander Bagwell and Too Cold Scorpio with Teddy Long. And the Nasty Boys with Missy Hyatt. So it's for the tag team championship, which Bagwell and Too Cold Scorpio won like the day before or something like that. And when they're coming out to the ring, they're like, when the Nasty Boys are coming out to the ring, they're like in the camera and they're just being like, "Oh, we're as nasty as we want to be because we're nasty." And it was, again, made me laugh. God, I hate them so much. So then there are more "Whoop There It Is" chants for like the 90th time tonight. Also in the crowd are mullets aplenty. By the way, the word mullet invented by the Beastie Boys in 1991.
Huh.
Yeah.
Really?
The first ones to coin the term mullet was the Beastie Boys and their song "Mullet Head." Don't ask me why. I looked it up because there were so many mullets, and I was like, I have to find out the origin. But yeah, Beastie Boys invented it.
I have questions.
So, yes?
No, that's what you were saying about mullets. I have questions.
So, Skullet invented by Hulk Hogan. Yes. Also, Primo says, "F the Nasty Boys." I also agree with that, which I'll get to. So, Missy Hyatt, was she supposed to be dressed as Madonna? I was trying to figure out, or is that just her look? I had no idea.
It didn't come off to me like it was supposed to be Madonna.
I had no idea.
But it was Halloween Havoc, so it's very possible.
She had like the short blonde wig and like the giant bra and stuff, and I'm like, she looks pretty hot, but I have no idea what she's supposed to be. So I wrote, "It's embarrassing how outclassed the Nasties are, especially Knobs, fucking Knobs." I hate the Nasty Boys so much. Sags isn't too bad, but Knobs is utterly useless. So, like, just useless. So they go out to, like, you know, outside the ring, and there in the front row is the most lovely mullet I've ever seen. Like, it certainly takes the cake in this particular show, because it's like it battles Sid Vicious for, like, it's like ramen. Like, if you put ramen noodles on your head and then cut it into a mullet kind of shape, that's what it would look like. Also, I noticed that there were a lot of empty seats, like, in the first, like, 5 rows.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this that much of a piss break match? Did this pay-per-view sell that poorly? Like, what is happening here?
Yeah, they said 6,000 people there, but...
In a 14,000-seat arena?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Didn't look great. So there's the Bagwell and Too Cold Scorpio, which I love Too Cold Scorpio, by the way. I was thrilled to see him. But they did a lot of, like, tag team moves that just consisted of them jumping and air humping. Like, that's all they did. Like, just lots of cross bodies and splashes, and everything involved them jumping and just, well, they, you know, land on whatever nasty.
It was original.
Yes. So at one point, Too Cold Scorpio botched an air hump, and then just he got mad that he botched it. So then they just rest hold. That's like the story of this entire match, is just rest hold, air humping, some leg drops, rest hold. Oh my God, so many rest holds. And like at one point, Sags hits a decent suplex, which I was like, hey, finally a move. But then nope, more rest holds, and the crowd could care less. They die a death. You know, you can see him like wandering around. Like, I was paying attention to the crowd more than I was paying attention to this match. They were just like wandering around, and I think they're aimlessly bumping into things and just doing anything to entertain themselves. Again, I wrote the Nasties are useless, because they are. Sags, I think is it Brian Knobbs and Jimmy Sags? Jerry Sags, thank you. He's actually not too useless. Comparatively speaking, out of the two, he's the less useless one. He hits about 50 leg drops. And then more rest holds. Finally, at this point, Buff Bagwell's been in yes, I'm calling him Buff Bagwell because Marcus Alexander Bagwell is far too many syllables. Buff Bagwell's been in the ring for like 8 minutes. He finally gets the hot tag to Too Cold Scorpio, and Knobbs is so useless that he can't even bump. Right? Like, he keeps bumping super early for like every move that Scorpio tries to do. Sags or Knobbs would bump like a half a second too early, so he would like flop down before like the kick, or flop down before like a punch or whatever. It's so useless. So after all of that, so Too Cold Scorpio hits this awesome looking moonsault to a standing Knobbs, and then this lovely 450, which Too Cold Scorpio always did an awesome 450. But Sags gets in the ring and hits him with a stinky boot. And that's enough for the Nasty Boys to get the win, to regain their tag team titles. I hated this match. I hate the Nasty Boys. Too Cold Scorpio is awesome, and Missy Hyatt looked pretty hot. Those are my notes for that particular match. Like, I don't know if you guys can add anything. Rest holds, Knobbs sucks a fat willy, and Missy Hyatt looks pretty hot.
You got it. I don't have anything to add on that. I have no notes on that match, literally.
I mean, the crowd was aimlessly wandering. That's another note that I had. So up next, they throw to Eric Bischoff, who is with Colonel Rob Parker, one of my favorites, and Sid Vicious. So Sid gives his promo like he's either trying to poop or trying not to poop. Either way, he's like just holding it in or trying to push it out. Like, he was undecided on which direction he wanted the poo to go. He also does that thing where he, will whisper like most of his promo. Like, oh, yo!
Yeah. Quiet.
It's like very typical Sid Vicious stuff. Apparently, this is a match to determine who is the franchise. Reminds me a lot of the Battle for the Ring match. It's like, sure, who is the franchise? It's Sting, but who is the franchise? So it's Sting versus Sid Vicious. And
Sting still has the best tights ever, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's got the scorpion on him, and
yeah, these pants still hold up to this day. Like they're still the coolest, man.
They
Like,
do.
nobody stopped them. They're bright. The scorpion on the side, and oh man, they just the cool factor of them is like on another level.
His face paint always matched his tights.
This was another match where I was laughing at people when Sting was walking. People were flashing flash bulbs,
like with their disposable cameras. They have like that tower of flash tube. Like,
did you guys see the kid ringside with the Sting face paint that was going absolutely nuts? Like
throwing a fit.
Yes,
he was like the guy with the bowl cut in the last Halloween Havoc. He had his face painted. He had his hair like Sting, and he looked like he was having an aneurysm. He was going nuts.
That is marking out right there. That is definition of marking out.
Yes. Well, then there was another kid who had a sign. It was a Sid Vicious sign, but he misspelled vicious. Like he spelled it Vicous. And then at one point, either someone told him or he realized his fuck up, and he tried to squeeze an I in between the C and the O. Looked very stupid.
Us wrestling fans can't spell.
Yes, and they showed this kid like 5 times too with this stupid sign. They immediately brawled to the crowd, which is fine. It's Sid Vicious. Sting hits a top rope clothesline. Sid gets bored with selling after a while and just kind of stops. He yells into the camera, and then we get a perfect shot of his ramen mullet, which, the ramen noodles flowing down his back. Lovely. So at this point, I thought about something. And I was like, Sid Vicious gets a bad rap. He wasn't exactly the best worker. He wasn't the best promo. He tried to stab Arn Anderson, or he did stab Arn Anderson 24 times.
Yeah, he didn't try.
Yeah, he did. He with fucking safety scissors. But, like, he's not that. He's just remembered for horrible things. Like, he's remembered for, shitting his pants in the Undertaker's face. And the whole I have half the brain that you do promo, and the whole snapping his leg in the ring. But really, he's not the worst that's ever existed. But he just is remembered for just the worst possible things.
He was great at murdering jobbers.
Yes,
truly great.
Stiff as fuck.
Did not give a shit about safety of any jobber whatsoever. So he does hit one of the most gentle chair shots I've seen against Sting. He was just like, and like taps him with the chair. Yeah,
he like grabs it like he's gonna nail him, and then he softly.
Yes, he just. So the end of this match, like, it does die a death eventually, but then the end of the match comes when Colonel Parker grabs both Sting and Sid Vicious's leg for some reason, and then he lets go of Sting's and holds on to Sid Vicious's, and Sid Vicious like taps him on the shoulder. He's like, hey, what are you doing there, guy? Like, hey, stop that. So then Sting rolls him up for the 1, 2, 3. So Sting wins the match. And then afterwards, Sid Vicious looks like he's going to poop again. He's yelling at Colonel Parker, who I still love. And I thought, a beatdown was coming. But Sid Vicious is just like, ugh, and then just leaves disgusted with Colonel Parker following him down the ramp. And it was pretty funny. I like this match a lot. Like, a lot. Just because... 1, Colonel Parker's awesome. 2, Sting is awesome. 3, Sid Vicious looks like he's going to poop or not poop, depending on your outlook.
Yeah, Sting and Sid, they spoke a lot of WCW back then. So that was the 6th match on the card. Last 2 belong to Primo, but we're going to take them over. AJ's going to go over quickly Ric Flair, Rick Rude. Funny part to me about this was Fifi, who was walking Flair to the ring, is now his wife.
Really?
That's who he's married to now. Yep.
Wait, Ric Flair is currently married to...
Yeah.
Weird. I did not know that.
That's the girl he married?
That's the girl he married. Yeah, that's the one he's married to now. Yep, sure is. That's her.
Interesting.
So, yeah, that was funny.
So the next match is obviously Ric Flair against World Heavyweight Champion Rick Rude, which is awesome. I totally forgot that Rick Rude even had that belt.
You beat the man! You gotta beat the man!
Woo! That was a very sad one.
It was.
So, Primo, I'm glad you wrote this down because I wrote this exactly.
There you go.
Nice. I wrote this exact thing almost word for word that Primo noted. So Rude makes them cut the music. He says, in classic Rude fashion, he says, what I'd like to have right now is for all you fat, out-of-shape Louisiana losers, stand up and pay respect to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And then he takes off his robe, revealing just awesome Halloween tights. Rick Rude always had the best tights ever.
Yeah, they did. They got Rick and Fifi's pictures on them. And then the jack-o'-lantern was on his ass. Yeah. I love Rick, man. You know, he's in my top 5. He's a great heel, man. You know? And the atomic drop. Nobody sold the atomic drop like Rick Rude.
He's like the only one who
right, Adam? Right?
Yeah. Oh, we're there, man.
Yes. He'd always arch his back, and he would like nobody could sell the atomic drop like Rick. Onto the knee. It was fantastic. Love it.
But
just by the way, throw in, like to a lot of people could just sell stuff comically, but he could still be a badass and still
right. While selling comically.
I think there's a Twitter account out there, and it's just reels and gifs of Rude selling atomic drops.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
that is
amazing.
Absolutely amazing. I love Rick Rude. He is, by the way, shredded to the gills. Holy shit, is he scary.
Prime time era, baby.
Good God.
I think him and Davey Boy might shop together.
Oh, go on an off cycle, boys. Jesus Christ. So, I love how Ventura gets on Flair because, he's got pyro and, fucking Michael Buffer's giving him the whole spiel as an entrance, and Ventura's like, all that for the challenger? Like, that was pretty cool.
Right.
Oh, and then Terry Taylor, which I was so disappointed that he didn't come out like pecking, like he did as the Red Rooster. Like, I was like anytime he was in the ring, he was... So, I do have one problem with Terry Taylor. So, there's 2 refs. Terry Taylor's on the outside. Whoever ref is on the inside. And the first ref takes a bump and is knocked out. So then Terry Taylor comes in. And Randy Anderson is the other ref. And Terry Taylor, Rick Rude runs into Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor spent a good number of years as a wrestler. And he takes a ref bump and is just out. He's out for like 4 minutes off of a ref. You used to be a wrestler, you goddamn jobber. Why are you dying over a ref bump? Like, stand up. Like, just stand up and go put some red dye in your hair, you fucking rooster. So that bothered me so much. But the actual match was great. It was, 2 of the best heels of all time. Healing it up with each other, even though Ric Flair is technically face. So the end of the match happens when, after the 2 refs, take their bumps, Rick Rude goes to hit Flair with the foreign object, as they call it. But then Flair gets the object and clocks Rude in the face. And just as Terry Taylor is about to count the 3, the other ref stops him and says, I saw what you did there, and disqualifies Flair and allows Rude to retain his belt. And then after the match, Flair throws a fit and goes and grabs the championship, and then Rude steals Fifi. He grabs Fifi and he's running down the ramp with her. It was pretty funny. So then Ric Flair tries to put Rude in the figure 4, but they break it up, and Rick Rude takes off. Ric Flair loses, but Fifi remains unabducted, so that's good. On to the main event.
On to the main event. Yeah, I enjoyed that one too. All right, so our main event, as we have already predetermined, Big Van Vader.
It's time! It's time! It's Vader time!
Versus.
Do you want some more In Vogue?
Cactus Jack. All right, so
how cool was it to see Cactus Jack?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, just classic, man. This is my favorite persona of Mick Foley was Cactus Jack.
Mine too.
So the rules given for the Texas death match that is taking place in Louisiana is no disqualification, falls don't count, 30 seconds of rest between each fall, falls count anywhere in the building, and the match continues until one man cannot answer the 10 count after a fall. So, reason why I love this main event, it says everything to me that WCW was, really.
Oh my God, yes.
Cactus is one of the toughest son of a bitches alive. A ref moves the table in this match to actually put where the spot was going to happen, which was awesome to me. Like, you couldn't go over and tell him to do it, but we'll talk about that later. A lot of stiff shots from Vader, as we expected a Vader match to meet, but Cactus Jack's music did not fit him here coming to the ring. Like, I don't know, it just didn't make sense, this music, but they probably changed it right after that. So Vader comes to the ring. What's that?
His music was dubbed. It wasn't his original WCW music. It was the dub. It was WWE being cheap and not paying for the rights.
Makes sense now. Sometimes I forget that. So Vader comes to the ring saying he has no fear and feels no pain. Who's the man? It's Vader coming to the ring accompanied by Harley Race. Cactus Jack makes his entrance complete with both ears and goes right into the match right after Vader. Favorite parts of the match from Primo was when Tony says they're going into the graveyard, where everybody's out front. It says Crockett. I think one said Vader, one said Dead. Also, the steel chair they were using was so old and rusty. Yep, I agree. During the first rest period, Cactus picks up a cactus from the graveyard and hits Vader with it when the match continues. Vader gets whipped into the table that sets up the ring and bounces right off of it. At one point, Cactus runs and flips over the railing, and I have no idea what he was trying to do because he just hurts himself. Yes. Vader DDTs Cactus on the steel chair, and medical staff gets called over. Harley Race comes over to stun Cactus Jack. So what he does is he clicks it, right, and then you hear it go, and then it stops. He looks at it, right, and then he goes, and then he puts it up to Cactus, and then it goes. Again, now the camera's catching all of this, right? He goes, and then he stops, and then he sticks it up to him and pulls it back, and Mick starts flopping like a fish. Like,
he grabs his leg and starts supersizing.
Cactus Jack makes it appear that Vader was the first to his feet, and that Cactus was not able to answer the 10 count because of what Harley did to him with the stun gun. So WCW was before their time. Who even knew about a stun gun? Now we know all about stun guns. But go ahead.
I have a quick question. When they were introducing Van Vader at the beginning of the match, did they introduce him as the heavyweight champion?
Yes.
In the little why?
But they said the title wasn't on the line. I remember them saying that a few times.
But didn't Rick Rude have the title? Like, didn't that just get defended like 10 minutes before?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that was weird. Maybe they were in a little confusion era.
Yeah,
well, it's still WCW, so
they're like, yeah, fuck it, we're not going back and fixing that. Like, the graphic is already written out.
Right. Vader wins the Texas Death Match courtesy of Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal. Harley Race pays for it afterwards because he gets a double arm DDT from Cactus Jack. So yeah, but this match was nuts. It makes me laugh when I watch it just because, like, I don't know, just so many bad things and just awful stuff going on. But it was
so good.
It was so good. But man, I really enjoyed covering these Halloween Havocs this October. next month, the month of November, we're flipping it to we're doing Saturday night's main event is what we're going to be covering.
Yes.
Classic Saturday night's main event episodes. If you want to go ahead and go watch next week's episode so you can follow along what we're going to be talking about. The one we're going to be talking about next week was the first ever Saturday night's main event episode on May 11th, 1985. That was the first ever Saturday night's main event episode. We're going to talk about that one. We're going to talk about what was going on in wrestling at the time. I thought about, what we see during those matches. So that one's on the Peacock Network. It's actually the very first episode. So go watch that and follow along with us next week. So Halloween Havoc 93, boys. Quick notes and thoughts, Adam. What'd you think of it?
Awesome. Yeah. At the beginning, didn't you say that was the best Havoc?
That was my favorite one.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one. Yeah,
I completely agree. It had the, like the horse shit opening 6-man tag.
Yeah.
It had awesome wrestling.
Yeah,
it had that weird cornball stuff from the early '90s WCW. The sparkler fireworks and that opening promo video. What on earth was that? Yeah. That was the full package to me, man. That was great.
AJ.
So this isn't my favorite Halloween Havoc of all time. That distinction, of course, belongs to the Yeti and monster trucks and the Dungeon of Doom and all that utter nonsense. But I highly recommend this one. It sucks in the best possible way, except for the main event, which is legitimately awesome. Even though Harley Race does the thing with the shocker at the end. But yeah, this is like the definition of WCW. They'll take something and make it so ridiculous and convoluted, but it's so entertaining the way that, Hogan and the Giant having a monster truck wrestling match on the roof is. So it's awesome. I loved it. And the only match I really didn't like was the Nasty Boys, just because I hate Brian Knobbs. Jerry Sags is fine.
Like I said, my last note was this was a mess of what WCW was. This pay-per-view was a mess of what WCW was. Yeah. Going back to my spot, Vader put the table up in the corner of the ring, and the ref grabs it and moves it and sets it over on the ropes. Because that's where the spot was supposed to take on. Yeah.
No, Vader.
That's good stuff, man. Good
Read
stuff.
Your script.
But talking about Saturday night's main event for the month of September, just to give you some notes, we're going to watch the first ever Saturday night's main events episode. We're going to watch the forming of the Mega Powers. We're going to watch a kind of a hidden a match between Bret Hart and the Macho Man. And then we're also going to cover one where Sid turns on Hulk Hogan, which leads to the worst WrestleMania of all time. So we're going to talk about that. So, all right, boys. Adam, AEW. Bryan Danielson is already talking about the AEW title. You think it's too soon, or are we about where we should be?
I think that you can't keep him from fighting for it for very long because he's clearly a top guy. He's clearly kicking everybody's ass. Is it too soon for him to hold it, or is it too soon for him to chase it? Definitely not soon for him to chase it.
What about
that's what I was going to say, the chase. Like, is it too early to put him in the picture?
I don't. I could see. I don't think he's going to get it, but I think it'll be another step in the story. Like we talked about last time I was on with him and Kenny. If they end up wrestling a 1-hour draw, or if Kenny wins by some screwball stuff or whatever, just extend, another chapter in that.
AJ, you got anything different?
Yes, I want him to chase it and get it, just so Omega can then chase back and get it. Yeah. But I would like Bryan to have a few more matches because, again, like the wins and losses matter in AEW.
Sure.
So stick to that. Like, don't just let him jump, everyone else just because he is Bryan. As much as I would love to see that, they established their own rules. Now, please stick to them.
Yeah, true. Where I am with him is kind of where I am with CM Punk. Not yet, but I want it on down the line. But hey,
eventually.
If we get awesome matches, then I'm here for it. So, all right. So Moose is your new Impact champion. I feel like Impact. It's kind of the bastard child promotion, kind of. A lot of wrestlers go there as a last resort. So I've just been thinking about this a lot lately. What do they need to really elevate that company? Okay. When Moose became champion, a good heel champion, is I think like what they need. But hear me out. This is what I feel like Impact needs. They need Nick Aldis. Okay. Carry the belt, full gimmick with with kind of carry the same way that he carried the NWA belt for so long. Like it seemed more important the longer he held it. He carries himself in a very professional manner. I just feel like, I love Moose as champion. I think he's going to be awesome. I want to see Moose mingle a little more with the AEW roster, but I feel like Impact needs like that guy, that one guy that call their own, kind of like they had AJ back in the day, you know what I mean? Or Angle when he was big, so yeah, like Primo said, they had him as Magnus, but bring him back as Nick Aldis, let's elevate and bring Impact up, man. I really like their roster. You guys disagree with that? Does that make sense?
Yes, and I think they do need one like big guy to get behind, but it's got to be someone like I'm thinking Bray Wyatt, like because it has to bring eyes to their product, and I love Nick Aldis, but he's not going to bring eyes to. He'll thrill the people who are already fans of Impact. He's not going to bring anyone new to the table, whereas like one of the big name free agents would do that. Not Braun Strowman.
First thing I thought about when you said that was the last time that I felt like Impact was at all buzzworthy was probably during the broken Matt Hardy stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So maybe if it was something more outside the box or something memeable or whatever it is, something...
Right.
As much as it's not my style of stuff, something the crowd chants, that type of stuff.
Yeah, Primo said maybe they need better production, so it doesn't kind of seem like they're watching a small time production versus I've maybe touring. I don't know if they have that on their budget to do, but I don't know, man. It seems like it just needs something, and they keep trying new things. Like Christian was nice. But and it was like one of their higher profile champions, but I don't know if it elevated them. But I'm trying to find something that would. So I guess that's kind of what I'm looking at. So, but we'll move on. Did you guys watch Dark Side of the Ring this past week? XPW. That was a pretty wild show.
Yes, I did. That was scumbags upon scumbags upon scumbags. Fuck right off.
A porn guy owning a wrestling company.
Oh,
and you all know, they're returning next month, right?
Oh my god!
I was going to say, did I hear that right?
Yeah.
With Rob Black and everything, like
Rob Black's the one.
Fuck right off.
Putting out really, really bad. He's like leaning into being the horrible person that he is.
And I get that,
oh, no.
New Jack has passed away, but fuck you, what a scumbag. New Jack is a scumbag. I don't understand how he ever worked, how anyone ever worked with him. He intentionally hurt people. Like, fuck you scumbag.
A lot of guys did back then in that, kind of era. Like I said, all of them were getting drunk and people were paying him to wrestle, and he's like, yeah, so of course, we're going. Yeah, I mean, that was dangerous. He could have killed that guy. He landed. Oh my God! Like,
yes.
I mean, we've seen that 1,000 times, but
yeah,
like honestly, like this kind of blurred the lines a little less for me because I kind of thought this was a little more having to do with ECW, and turns out it wasn't, and I thought it kind of was a little bit, but so this kind of opened my eyes to it. But yeah, this was pretty wild, man. These porn stars, and he's making some questionable porn. God,
yeah, some Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
porn.
Another crazy story. Next week, I think or tomorrow night is the steroid era. I think.
Yep.
With the
steroid
trials,
era.
So. All right,
at least this one wasn't as sad, by the way.
Well,
like,
it was. It's more like
scummy.
jaw dropping. Yeah.
It made me want to take a shower afterwards. It didn't make me feel like a bad human.
No,
it was just scummy.
And I didn't know Luke Hawx was a part of it, and the whole thumb thing, and like by that one guy, and wow.
Oh yeah, Rob Black had the Messiah. I totally forgot.
Yeah,
got his thumb chopped off because Rob Black is a dirtbag.
So they were trying to cut something else off too. So
his pee-pee.
Yeah, he's banging his wife and that whole deal. So. All right, let's get to what happened last Friday night. Me and AJ were sitting front row at St. Louis Anarchy down in Granite City, Illinois. This was a fantastic card here, as it was a costume night. It was called When We All Go a Little Mad Sometimes, but I think it should have been called When We All Sit a Little Cold Sometimes.
When steam comes off the wrestlers' heads sometimes.
So it was the last night of it was the last show of an outdoor show. So let me run through the card here with you as it came on. First off, Jake Durden versus Billy Starks. Now, Jake wasn't very nice to me to start the card, was he,
No,
AJ?
he wasn't.
Because everybody knows I'm a Jake fan. Jake turned the corner, and he was walking towards me, so I stood up. I was clapping. I was giving him his props, and he quickly told me to sit the fuck down. Even though I was, cheering for him. So
he didn't even yell at you, which I think made it more hurtful. The fact that he was just like, sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
I'm like, okay, well.
He's a Walmart. He's a Walmart greeter, man. Don't be too hurt.
Jake Durden versus Billy Starks. Billy ends up winning by count out. She pulled out the blue Tista bomb, and she was doing during the match, and so that was fun.
I love Billy Starks, by the way.
Second match was our boy Beef and the Bastard Cassidy versus the Premier. Now, the Premier, this was supposed to be Camaro Jackson, but Camaro Jackson comes out later. He is going to actually challenge Jeremy Wyatt after Derek Neal was not able to make the show. So that ends up being your main event. So the Premier ends up winning by a low blow and a pin on Bastard Cassidy. Next up, the big pop of the night for me, Thomas Shire comes out dressed as the OG Terry Funk versus Kenny Alfonso. Shire wins by a Texas Cloverleaf.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Funk as Shire had me dying the whole night, all the way from the music, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Thomas Shire quickly becoming one of my favorite indie wrestlers, man. Love him. Next up was the banger of the night right here, Warhorse versus Cody Lane. Warhorse wins by the Scorpion Deathlock.
It was awesome. That match was fantastic.
So back and forth. These guys were cold, and they had the crowd going nuts. They had everybody basically, just cheering for them. Next out was the sauce of Mr. Flip Moss himself, Alex Zane versus Everett Connors. And Everett Connors coming off a 2-match losing streak from Davey Richards. Wins this match with a, I think the best thing I could have called it, AJ, was a modified Spanish fly.
That's got to be what it was.
Yeah, it kind of had to look
like a flip off the like they were both up on the top turnbuckle, and it was like a self Spanish fly.
Yeah.
It was very weird looking.
Yeah, kind of maybe inverted or something. I don't know. But next up, Evangelistico comes out with Sean Orleans. They are both dressed up like Dusty. They got the red and black polka dots going on. I don't know, man. It was crazy. Before they even get to the ring, Evangelistico attacks Sean Orleans. I'm looking at AJ like, what just happened? He goes, I don't know, man. But sweet Dusty outfits, by the way.
They were awesome. And then just beat the shit out of his tag partner and then walked to the back. It was a 12-second angle. Like, I don't understand what happened.
Next out was a guy I'm thinking is going to be a champ here soon, Moonshine Mantell. Now, Adam, do we know if Moonshine Mantell has any connections to Dutch? Jacob Coulter or Jeb Coulter?
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I haven't either. I don't know. Just thought maybe. So, Mantell versus Christian Rose. Mantell wins by shenanigans from Jake Durden and Mr. Joe Vi himself.
Yeah.
Next up, we get AJ's first experience to sing Besties in the World versus Planet Williams and Gary J., also known as Unsigned and Don't Care. Besties won, which I thought was the best match so far up until that point.
Me too.
The Besties were back together, and it was a really good match.
Matt Fitchett is just so good.
Man, he is just consistent, fast. Man, he is good. Like I said, my pick to win the Jim Lyon Memorial Tournament. All right, last few matches. Charlie Evans, Angela Slane, and Brooke Valentine wrestled. Thruple match. Angelus wins by stealing the pin. And then next match is, I want to see this one ran back under warmer conditions. Chip Day versus Anthony Henry. This was a straight fight. Good shit. I was pumped because I'm from the South. Two Georgia boys wrestling in St. Louis Anarchy. Yeah. I was super pumped about it. Anthony Henry wins, and that is your co-main. And then final of the night, Jeremy Wyatt for his 39th defense of the Heritage Gateway title versus Camaro Jackson. Camaro's talking about this is his time. He's going to take it. Ends up, they're having a really good match. And then so we get to the end of the match. Kenway of the Premier returns. He takes a shot on Wyatt. Didn't work because Wyatt ended up winning the match after I think he ended up getting it on a roll-up. But they didn't take him out enough. So anyway, the Premier looked shocked. They had me for a moment because when Kenway came in, I was hitting AJ. I was like, Wyatt's going to lose. I was like, I thought Camaro was going to win it, man, but wasn't to be. Gary J came out to make the save. And so they're going to do it again for the 40th title defense next month, November 20th. An indoor show, folks. Indoor.
Yes. Oh, thank God.
Mega ticket at the. It's going to be
so
there.
Where is it?
It's still at the Granite
place?
City Elks Lodge. I think it's
just going to be in the Elks Lodge. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be in the building across.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
So, so Gary J and Jeremy Wyatt going to fight for the title. Sounds like they had technical difficulties. I don't know if this was going to be on IWTV. They said this one may end up being a YouTube release. Had the show been indoors, man, I think it would have been nuts. The crowd would have been into it. But literally respect, appreciation to everybody at St. Louis Anarchy and the wrestlers for putting on a show. It was cold as fuck, but they still went out there and laid it on the line for everybody that was there. And I'm looking forward to the November 20th show. And it says sounds like they're going to go on a break after that for a couple months.
Yeah, a couple of months. It was a great card. It was a great show. I liked it. Like, it's hard to say if I liked it better than the first one, or not the first one, the previous one. I think the action was better this time around.
Yep.
The main event obviously didn't have Daniel Makabe in it, so I didn't like it as well, and it was kind of thrown together. Also, what's his name? Low Card Benny or whatever his name is. He because the last one, the ring broke, so we had to come out like 15 times.
Oh, yeah. The singer guy.
Yeah. This time he only had to come out once to draw a name for whoever won the raffle for the free hot wings.
For the Papa Kenway's chicken wings.
Yeah.
The raffle. Yeah, the music hit. We're like, no.
You stay behind the concession stand.
Yeah. Great show, though. I had a good time. I like that venue, man. Going to hit that place a lot during the spring and summer, man. So, all right, getting to the end of the show here. Let's talk about, I want to thank Coastland for sponsoring the show. Go to coastlandapparel.com. Use promo code BirdTV for 15% off your order. AJ, where can we get that Sit Down Marks podcast from?
Where can you get the podcast from? All kinds of
podcast.
Places.
You've already told me.
Let's see. Wait, let's see if I can do it off the top of my head.
Go.
We have Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, something podcast, Stitcher again, iHeartRadio, and you can catch us live before the Thomas Bryce Show at 6:45 on SportzWire Internet Radio. Which one did I miss?
I think that's pretty close.
Did I get them?
That's respectable. Yep.
Did I? I've never written those down once.
I think you missed Stitcher.
Stitcher for the fourth time.
All right. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review if you love the pod. AJ, let's get you caught up on your weekend UFC picks.
Yes. How'd I do?
To bring everybody up here, AJ knows not a damn thing about mixed martial arts, so we make him pick the cards each week. So, all right, up to date, you are 7-5.
Yeah.
Each week I make you pick 5 picks. This week you went a whopping dismal 1-3.
Oh no.
One match ended up being a draw. So
I'm 8-8 right now.
You are 8-8, and to your favor, you got the women's match right. You got Rose Clark right.
That was a women's match.
Yes. All right, so time to pick this week's picks here. UFC card as we get rolling here. AJ, who do you want? 8-8, Yingling.
Yes.
Yingling.
Doesn't matter. You don't have to say the other one. Yingling.
Okay. Volkov versus Tabura.
Volkov.
Makhachev versus
Makhachev.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who's the second one?
Hooker.
Dan Hooker.
I mean, really? Do you have to ask?
Yeah, right. Co-main, Jan versus Sandhagen.
Sandhagen.
Main event, Teixeira versus Blachowicz.
Blachowicz. I like to pick the ones that are funny sounding to me.
By the way, Yingling versus Chimaev. He picked Yingling. So Chimaev been on a hot streak. So 8-8 going into next week. Adam, you were at East Nashville Southern Underground Pro last Sunday. This was the return show that we talked about last week on the pod. Finally, they are back up and running. I watched most of this card. A very heartfelt message from Jesse at the beginning of the show. Man, tell us about being back there for the first time.
Yeah, so real quick, right before COVID, the venue got destroyed by a tornado that went through downtown Nashville, and they rebuilt it during COVID, and this was their first show back in this venue with fans. Mm-hmm. So it had a cool energy to it. I feel like everyone there was pretty excited to be there. The show zipped along. I feel like they're pretty good at that. First match was members only. There were some young guys that I didn't know getting obliterated by Damian Tangra and Alex Kane.
Nice. Suplex assassin.
Yeah, that's my kind of stuff.
So you got to see some jobbers get murdered? Very
yes. And that's not the only time it happened. Well, the other guy wouldn't call it jobber, but we'll get to that. One called Manders beat Merck. One of the best matches of the night.
Okay, nice.
If you've seen one or either of those guys, you knew that it was a manly wrestling match. They
like they chopped wood and fixed carburetor.
the Nashville crowd, and it's the only place this happens. They dubbed one called Manders ass meat. So they chant ass meat when he comes out.
That needs to go on a t-shirt.
Oh, that's great.
And he no-sells it.
He no-sells it, yeah.
Yeah. Third
stuff.
match was Adam Priest going over Bobby Flacco. I like both these guys. Bobby Flacco's got all kinds of energy. Guy feels like he could catch on at some point, go somewhere.
Nice.
After that, unannounced, AC Mack comes out. He's accompanied by Isaiah Broner, who is a scary person.
Yes, he is. Would not mess with that guy.
Yes.
I wouldn't mess with AC Mack either.
Yes. So AC is on the mic doing what he does, great. Talking that shit to everybody. Starts talking about the IWTV champion, Alex Shelley, and he says this is the best thing that happened of the night too. And he's insinuating, he's talking about Isaiah Broner, and he looks to the crowd and he says, "You know who else is from Detroit?" So everyone starts chiming in with their different people from Detroit until someone says RoboCop. And the whole crowd breaks into a RoboCop chant, and
I love wrestling.
Yeah,
it's the best.
I felt like, AC and Broner were just out there just looking hard as shit. And I thought neither of them could hold it back. They were both smiling. So they get back to it. But
good stuff.
That went on. That led into AC Mack beating Davey Bang. Good match. Last match before intermission, Daniel Makabe, our boy, beating Cole Radrick in a
Ratty Daddy,
in a doozy of a match.
I love Cole Radrick too, man. He goes hard.
Yeah,
he goes hard.
So going into it, Cole was talking about how the difference maker was going to be how hard he hit, and I kind of feel like they played that up. They got. They squared off quite a few times in the match. Great stuff. Earlier, I referenced someone else getting obliterated. That would be our boy Jaden Newman. I like Jaden, but
Ichiban
number 1 drew the short straw. He drew the short straw and got Isaiah Broner, and Broner looked awesome. He did. Did you see that one, Eric?
Yep. I watched that one. Yep.
He was a monster in that match. Match number 7, Cabana Man Dan defeated the Locksmith Brandon Williams. Williams is one of my guys to watch right now. Can't get enough of him.
I like the Locksmith name too. It's kind of like blue collar, but kind of like technical-ish sounding too.
Yeah. He's. It's a reference to his mat wrestling, but he comes out with a lock and chain around his neck.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Good stuff.
Dan looked good. One with a smooth looking, like Code Red Sunset Flip Bomb type deal. Match 8, Brett Eisen beat Ashton Starr. Eisen's doing this little wind down. He's going to step away from wrestling here shortly.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So this is kind of part of his wind down. So really good match. I think that was Ashton's debut with SUP, if I remember right. Got over huge with the crowd. Brett gives him the big talk afterwards.
Yep.
As the guy on his way out versus the up and coming guy. I guess I didn't say it. The show had started with an angle with the Lost Boys, Chase Holiday and Hoodfoot coming out to confront Kevin Koo about the tag titles because Dom Guarini isn't wrestling right now. They attack him and Dom comes out, so it leads to Dom having another wrestling match. The pro wrestling formula kind of sets it up for that to be the the end of Dom and Ku's tag title run, but they did retain. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, Dom's looking to step away soon, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah. He's been away for a while. He came back this weekend just so he could get that Minoru Suzuki match.
Minoru Suzuki. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But since he had, I guess already stepped back in the ring, he thought go ahead and get this one in too. So
cool. Yeah. Good show to come back to. So pretty decent crowd there.
Yeah, it was awesome. The show's well worth your time. It's on IWTV. I'll throw this in. I don't know these people, so I'm not getting shit from it. But got a couple shirts from Rolling Elbow, who was selling shirts there. They got some cool stuff, some cool wrestling shirts. So people go track that down.
Yeah, and they've been sponsoring some shows and stuff around too. So who's backing that company? You got any idea?
No clue.
Yeah.
What's it called? Rolling Elbow?
Rolling Elbow, yeah. Nice. You got any tickets to any shows?
I'm gonna go. I got a ticket to the ICW.
Cool.
No Holds Barred, and with their debut in Chattanooga, and they announced today that it was going to be PCO versus Calvin Tankman.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice. What's the date on that?
I don't know. It's in about 3 weeks, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, thanks, brother. Appreciate you running that down for us there.
Absolutely.
AJ, what's going on next week, man, on the pod here?
Well, next week, hopefully Primo will be returning. If we don't fire him first. I have no authority. Like you said earlier, we'll be for our Dropkick discussion, be doing the first ever Saturday Night's main event, taking place May 11th, 1985. I believe next week is the return of Squared Circle Questions, perhaps.
Yep.
Maybe. What else do we have going on next week? Your usual recaps, updates, news, notes. I'll try and watch a better movie. I'm not going to try and watch a better movie. It's going to be garbage. Follow all your regular fun stuff that we Marks provide for you on a weekly basis.
Before we go here, I want to talk about just recently signed. If you've been listening to the card, I'm a big fan of Brian Battle. He is a UFC fighter, just won the Ultimate Fighter show. He is the coach of my best friend's son. He's been coaching him for quite a few years now. He just signed, he's got a UFC deal. He just signed his first fight. It's going to be February the 5th in Las Vegas. It's going to be a fight night card February the 5th. I am absolutely, without a doubt, will be there to watch that fight. Big fan of Brian's. He's super cool dude. He's been coaching my best friend's son for quite a few years now, so we've been following his career, and just amazing to see him back up here in the Ultimate Fighter. So, long story short, the guy he's fighting, Trayshawn Gore, was the guy who was supposed to have been in the Ultimate Fighter finale, ended up getting hurt, so they're going to run this one back in February.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they're going to run that one back and have sort of a match that was supposed to happen. But shout out to Brian, too. They just had a brand new baby boy. They've been waiting for the last couple weeks, so congratulations, Brian, Pooh Bear Battle. Can't wait to see you get in camp, man, and head to Las Vegas in February. All right, boys, you got anything else for the pod here today? I think the masses have listened to us enough.
Thanks again for coming on, Adam. Always a pleasure when you're here.
Absolutely.
I learn stuff when you're on.
So we were supposed to do the first annual Marks mock draft with Adam today. So we're going to put that off until December the 1st when Adam comes back on the show. We will pick it up then. And so looking forward to that one. But Adam, missed you at St. Louis Anarchy, man. Good to see your face, brother. Thanks for being on the pod today, man.
Yeah.
And, I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. All right. Well, AJ, that's going to do it for us. We missed Primo on the pod here today, but I think we filled in quite nicely for him. So basically, we don't need him anymore. So
nope.
Yeah.
Done.
So much for that prick.
Yeah, fuck you. Take a day off. We clearly just send us your notes each week.
Yeah,
and
we don't. Yes.
We'll read them expertly. I might add.
I was going to say we canceled a segment and had one less person and still ran 3 hours.
Still ran 3 hours. Yep, that means we like to talk about wrestling way too much than we admit we do. All right, well, it was episode 34 of the Sit Down Marks Wrestling Podcast for Primo, usually here, not here today, and Adam and AJ. Take us home, my brother.
Grab damn cakes. Grab damn cakes.